Sorry about that little hiccup there. I'm still figuring this shit out. How's everybody doing? I'm here chilling in the game room, ready to do part 3 of the video game collection. I don't want there to be a part 4, so we are going to we're going to get through all of this today. This entire bookshelf from CDI, CDI, down to Wii U. What's up, What's going on? You can ask whatever questions you want. I'm not going to control what questions can be asked and what can't. Feel free to ask any questions you want. We are going to be looking at games today, but that's okay. Next time is going to be, I think I'm going to do my horror Blu-ray. A lot of people seem to want that one, so we're gonna do that. But, okay, so we're going to get started here. The first thing I want to do is take a look at some of the pickups that I got. Since I didn't capture this on film, I wanted to show you guys what I picked up. So, let's get shit started. Thank you to the folks that are in here already. I appreciate it. So if there are any movies you prefer watching in VHS format. No, not really. The only movies I prefer watching on VHS are the movies that never made it to DVD or Blu-ray, frankly. I'm not one of the... How do I say this? I'm not one of the people that prefer the shitty quality. I grew up with the shitty quality. Like, I want to see the movies... closer to how they were meant to be seen. Hey, Lucy, how's it going? And so DVD and Blu-ray accomplished that for me. I know there are a lot of hipster-type folks and younger people who enjoy the analog style of VHS. Yeah, 80s slashers on VHS. I get that. I prefer to see 80s slashers as close to the way that they were supposed to be viewed. I guess some people can make the argument that VHS was the way to go for that, but now these were shot on film, so I want to see them as close to film quality as possible. I understand that it adds to the nostalgia and stuff, but I grew up with VHS, and they fucking sucked. So that's just my opinion. What's up, Jolly Good? Thank you for stopping in, everybody. I appreciate it. The usual suspects. Potentially collect VHS then. Correct. The only VHS I have in my collection officially are either VHS that where the DVDs or Blu-rays are astronomically priced and I'm not going to buy them, so I hold on to the VHS, or movies that never made it to DVD or Blu-ray. That's how I do it. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at what I have picked up recently here. So this is pretty cool. I don't find video games very often anymore. But I got lucky at the Restore. And I walked in at just the right time as they were putting them out. And I got pretty lucky. So first thing I want to show you. So just some of the games I'm playing right now. I actually started the new Doom last night, which was kicking my ass. In a good way. I loved it. And then we lost power for 4 hours. So I played my 3DS for a couple hours and then passed out. And it sucked because it was like my Friday night. I only have one day off this week, and today is it. So I was hoping to stay up late and play some games. But hey, the world had different ideas. So Sleeping Dogs, Onimusha, Covert Ops. This one's really cool, guys. This is like Resident Evil meets Metal Gear Solid or Siphon Filter or something along those lines. It's like an action movie. It's like the movie Speed or something, where the whole movie takes place on this high-speed train, and you're just exploring, navigating, and killing bad guys. It's very, very fun, and I was having a blast with it, playing it a couple days ago, and then I got soft-locked out of the game because there was an area where I had to do a thing before I did another thing, and I did it in the wrong order, and then I couldn't. So what I'm going to do is make sure I save a bunch of different files next time. This is just something that happens with older games. Final Fantasy 1, I think I'm going to dig into this today after the live stream. We'll see. I really want to sit down and beat and play this game. Tiptoes, yes, the weird movie with a strange dwarf performance from what's his name? Gary Oldman. Thank you. Jesus. Let's see. what video game do you think has the best story? Probably so when it comes to video game stories, I usually am not too impressed. Usually, sometimes I like the lore, sometimes I like some of the storytelling. I'll say Horizon was a really good story. I also love the story for a lot of the Final Fantasy games or Japanese RPGs. I think Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10, 6, or 3 here in the States. I think those are some of the better stories. I think if you want a story approaching novel quality and novel detail, I would recommend JRPGs, Japanese RPGs. It feels like you're reading a novel. Some of these games take 40, 50 hours. Not that novels take that long, but they're just longer form fiction in which you engage in, and that's what makes it special. So we have Tiptoes. Sorry about the shadow here. But yeah, I had to pick this up. This is out of print, so I might watch it and then sell it. I don't know. I hear this movie is absolutely terrible. This one I picked up for Naomi Watts, and it's like a TV gothic horror movie. Kind of looks like a Hammer kind of flick. The Wyvern Mystery, so I picked that up. Shaka Zulu miniseries. I think I already have this, so I might sell this off, and it's a little beat up, so. And then we have Kitchen Stories. This is a Norwegian and Swedish comedy here. I've never seen a Norwegian or Swedish comedy, I could say. So that one I want to give a shot. And this one was cool to find. Kore era Hirazoku, or Hirokazu. Kore era Hirokazu. Did a film called Shoplifters here. Koreeda is a very popular Japanese filmmaker who does a lot of dramas, a lot of things outside of my purview when it comes to foreign films. I mainly watch genre films, but I do enjoy a good drama every once in a while, and sometimes I go on a streak of dramas. So, yeah, and this has some crime elements, some light crime elements, but it reminds me. I don't know. It looks like Sonatine, kind of. It looks like it has that somber, melancholic sort of, vibe about it. And it follows this obviously poor family who I believe, I would imagine, become shoplifters. And I'm sure it deals with the moral implications of all this. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Good thing I never shoplift in stores in my life. Not the movie I'm talking about. Yeah. No, shoplifting is bad. Stealing is bad. Almost all the time, right? If you needed bread or something, I can make a moral or philosophical argument that it would be okay to steal it if no one wants to give it to you. But that's in dire times. Did you watch Monster? Is that Monster? Which Monster? The one with Charlize Theron? I'm not exactly sure. This one is called Pieta. This was a really cool one to find. This is a film by Kim Ki-duk, which is a South Korean filmmaker. This one seems closer to my kind of thing. This looks like a crime mystery thriller kind of thing, almost Seven-ish, dare I say. But it looks great. It's your Michael Mann character. Then it's badass. Exactly. Filmmakers could make stealing look so cool. God, the heist movies are the coolest thing in the world. And there is an allure to it. Don't get me wrong. But that's another conversation. Director of Shoplifters, Koreeda. No, I haven't seen Monster. I don't think I've seen any Koreeda films. So, I'm looking to change that. All right, now, getting to the games, folks. This one I picked up recently. This is Donkey Kong Land 2. Zoda's Revenge. This is Star Tropics 2, actually. Really nice copy. And now I'm going to show you guys basically what I picked up at this restore. So I walk in and there's like 20 freaking PS2 games sitting in the case. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Get all excited. And I start looking. So I got you, Lucy. I'll check that one out at some point for sure. It's, not really in my purview of the movies that I like to watch, but I figure let's go outside my comfort zone every once in a while. That's a good thing to do. You do. All right, so this one was disc only, but this is like a $30 disc, $25, $30 disc. This is a very hard to find Simpsons game there. So yes, we have a toothpick there. That's nice. I'm a disgusting creature. I apologize. Yesterday at the video game shop that I work at, it's Kitty GTA. Exactly. It looks kind of fun. The video game store that I work at, Plan Trade in Garner, we have a really nice customer base, a lot of really sweet people. I've only encountered a couple nasty people, one in particular, in my 3 months working there. But I really enjoy working there, and this one customer I sold this game to, it was we did a buy two get one, and he was getting this one for free. He got it home, I guess, and he realized that he had it already. And this is a series I've been wanting to play for some time. It's like a 3D platformer from the time, a series. And this is the first of the series. And anyway, so he came back and he was like, dude, I already have this game. It's yours. And I said, what? I was so flabbergasted. I was so shocked that somebody would do that. And it was the sweetest thing in the world. He gifted it to me. It's really nice condition, so I'm really happy to have this. Movie or video stores in my... No, not really. You just have sort of places that have media in general. There's one in Fayetteville that has movies at, what they're going for on the market. DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. It's a big bookshop. But yeah, bookshops that carry movies around here. Definitely. Talk 2 as a kid. I've never gotten into the game franchise. Yeah, this is one I've been wanting to play. So, and I thought it would be fun to kind of put these away as I'm talking. I made some room here, and then we're going to get to the bookcase, the big bad bookcase. We've got Van Helsing. Now, this one is supposed to be kind of like a Devil May Cry ripoff, which actually appeals to me. If you're ripping off a game, very seldom is that ripoff straight up bad. It at least, has some mechanics that are fun, and if it's close enough to Devil May Cry, then I'll be a happy camper. I'm not a big fan of the film. I really am not. I really would love to love the film, but I just don't. I think it's kind of a drag. I don't know. Maybe one day my opinion will change, but Van Helsing in a Blockbuster case, what are you going to do? Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, I also have this on GameCube, but I might stick with the PlayStation version. Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I miss the mom and pop shops that I grew up with too. I used to be within walking distance of them in my little neighborhood in Connecticut and in Stamford. And it was within walking distance. It was great. There's a pizza place, there's a Chinese place, there was a grocery store, all within walking distance. It was wonderful. And a little mom and pop shop where I used to rent games all the time and movies, obviously. Next up, we have Gauntlet Dark Legacy. This is a game I've wanted to play for some time. I owned it at one point. And then I got rid of it at one point, which, sometimes I regret. But hey, this is a nice 4-player co-op action loot dungeon crawler kind of game. These Tony Hawk games are getting more and more expensive as time goes on. N64 version of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. And yeah, that was the last 64 game release. Very good. You got it. That's right, jolly good. So Tony Hawk Underground 2, a game that I didn't own, but now I do. I'm very happy to say. A game that I never really got into. Same thing here, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. A game that I never really gave the time, but I plan to do that soon. We have Gauntlet Dark Legacy, I already talked about. I'm going to put this in the wall. Hey, brother.
Wild.
What's wrong with the coffee? That's a biggin. That's a biggin, boy. You don't like it?
It's crazy. No, it's wild good.
Oh.
But I don't want to get used to that.
Why?
Because this is diet,
Here I'm like walking into my messy ass kitchen. Forgive me, guys. Take a look at the game room for just 1 second. I'm gonna get a straw and we're gonna get this show on the road. All right. One sec, guys. Yo, this is a beast. Wow.
Yeah, what, that coffee?
Huh?
The coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently it's like a drip coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, I said, you have a red eye? And she was like, yeah, I think that's like a drip. I don't know.
This is some strong shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, stronger than usual. This doesn't taste like espresso, but okay.
There is an extra espresso shot in there.
I don't know. I don't know any. Guys, I'm new to coffee. I don't know anything about it. All I know is I like it strong, dark, black. Like I like my men. Just kidding. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
His knees are just.
There's my big ass black coffee that tastes like dirt, and I appreciate that. Okay, so we've got. I'm gonna close this door so that my brother doesn't bother me. And all right, so next up, we've got Ed, Edd and Eddy. Bum 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 bam bum bum bam bum bum do do do. Bum, 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 bum. Nice complete version of this game. This is another game I owned at one point, and I'm happy to have again because I actually am interested in playing this like 3D platformer. Never had coffee there. That's okay. It's something I never drank in my life, but I've started drinking for whatever reason. I'm 38 now, and I don't know. I gave up alcohol a few years ago and stuff like that, so I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Oh, yeah. I forgot to do what I said I was going to do and put these in the wall. We've got Ed, Edd and Eddy. It's like a 3D platformer based on the old show. And it looks like, the graphics look like the old show, which I think is cool. We've got Star Wars Bounty Hunter. One I've never played, actually, but it's got Boba Fett on the front, so you can't really go wrong with that. It looks like a fun action game. I'm excited for that one. Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I'm still not sure if I'm keeping the Xbox version of this or what. All of Cartoon Network in the late 90s, early 2000s. Cow and Chicken, Ed, Edd and Eddy. It was fantastic stuff. Here we have The Golf Club 2. I picked this up for my brother and I to try out. It's a golf game. I mean, it's supposed to be pretty good. It was $1. So, I don't know. Give it a shot. We like arcadey golf games, Hot Shots Golf, Mario Golf, all that kind of stuff. Now, coming down here, folks, are the games that I'm actually selling that I already have or am not interested in. So, actually, I am interested in this one, but look at this. It's sealed. I got these for $2 a piece, by the way. Brand new PS2 game sealed. Is it the best PS2 game that could have been sealed? No. Sly 2 could have been sealed. God of War. Any of these would have been better sealed. But it's at least a sealed game. One of these sold for like $50 on eBay. I'm cool with that. I could pick up the game for like $10. I want this game, but I don't need it sealed. And this is worth a good chunk of change, so I'm going to definitely sell it. So, we've got Contra, Shattered Soldier. Clone of Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, Cow and Chicken is kind of a clone of Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way at the time, because I didn't really think that way at the time, but yes, it was influenced by heavily. Here we have Contra Shattered Soldier. This is the forgotten Contra game that is actually really good and worth playing. Take a look at the shots on the back there. It's a really fun game. 2-player couch co-op, the way I like it. It's tricky to rock around it, right on time, it's tricky. Remember this fucking game back in the day? Everybody loved this game back in the day. It made snowboarding cool. This was the era of extreme sports. Everything was fucking extreme. And SSX was no exception. Great score. Made Run DMC popular as hell for a little while again. And this one's a little beat up, but I have a place near me that can resurface discs, and they have an industrial-powered machine. It's fantastic. We have God of War. Greatest Hits version still fetches 15. SSX Tricky fetches like 30. Same thing with Contra. 2 copies of Sly 2. I now, in my possession, have 3 copies of Sly 2 right now. These go for like $25 a pop. Good stuff. This copy is in perfect condition compared to the PS2 copy there, so I might end up keeping the Xbox version, but I'm more of a PS guy. Another copy of Gauntlet Dark Legacy, which I'm selling. SSX3 was good. All of them are good, but Tricky is where it's at. Tricky is the most arcadey and fun. This one, I would keep if it wasn't a Greatest Hits, but I'll find this. I do want to try this out because I love the movie. But I'll find this cheap one day. I work at a video game shop now, which is dangerous, but... drinking my coffee. This is not from Starbucks, by the way. We don't do Starbucks around here. You ever heard Seen a Mutant from '84, Wings Hauser. Yeah, no, I have. Isn't that Hold on a sec here. Mutant. This is the one right here, right? Yeah, this is a fun movie. I like this movie. This Bud Cardos movie. Bud Cardos makes fun movies. Like, didn't he do The Being? That's a crazy movie. No, he didn't. What? Bud Cardos. Bud Cardos. He did. Damn. I'm slacking. Bud Cardos did The Dark, right? Which I now have on Blu-ray. Okay. Anyway. So that's that. We now are going to start with the games. All right, folks. We've got the ladder. Okie doke. All the way up here on this 8-foot. This is an 8-foot bookshelf here. I've mentioned in the other live streams. These I built myself with guidance from an actual carpenter, because I am no carpenter. I take orders. And I hammer nails and do that kind of stuff. All right, so first up, now I like to keep this top shelf airable or breathable because these boxes can get crushed, which they already have over the years. It's really hard to keep these in good condition when you're moving about as much as I have. Okay, so I love my CDI collection. Years ago at a yard sale, I walked into this church and they had a whole bunch of stuff. And they had a CDI just sitting there with a stack of games, most of which I have right here. Some of the non-games I've sold off, like Britannica, Encyclopedia, and shit like that. But these are really cool to me. Dark Castle, is this a good game? No, it's not supposed to be good at all. The CDI isn't a great console. It's a novelty, though. And you don't see it every day, and I love the artwork. What can I say? Is the artwork great? No. but I just love the look of these boxes. I think they're so fucking cool. And I have played some of these games, and I plan to play all of them. These are cool. Defender of the Crown, really cool, kind of Koei-inspired, strategy games. Defender of the Crown. Not really my type of game, but I do want to give it a shot. Escape from Cyber City. This is cool for my anime heads out there. Does this look familiar to you? Well, this, if I'm not mistaken, is actually Galaxy Express 999. Actually, yeah, it says down here. Galaxy Express 999 and Adieu Galaxy Express, which was the original and the sequel. Two incredible films. The first one is one of my favorite films of all time and one of the best anime of all time. Yes, it was cobbled together from the TV show, but it's still fantastic. Anyway, Escape from Cyber City repurposes a lot of scenes from the anime and makes it into like a quick time adventure story kind of thing. I think it might be a bit of point and click, maybe a bit of cursor action where you shoot guys, and I don't know. It looks cool, and I'm a big fan of Galaxy Express 999. I just think it's funny that they didn't call it that. Escape from Cyber City, the ultimate interactive action adventure. This one looks like poo-poo. I've watched a review of this pretty recently, and I was like, woo, this looks bad. But I must play it one day. One day I'm going to do, once I get live streaming, which I plan to do very soon, actually. I plan to live stream video games and movie commentary and stuff. I think that'll be fun. I do want to play stuff like this, if I can get it working. Lords of the Rising Sun, another, again, Koei-inspired strategy game here with full FMVs, and I'm sure it's lovely and cringy. I just, again, love the artwork. It's like a piece of art. Mystic Midway. This one's supposed to be pretty decent. Rest in Pieces. I think this is the sequel. Yeah. I'm not sure. I have two Mystic Midway games here. This is like a, I don't know, collection of mini games. It says multiplayer scores, Dr. Dearth, Epic Collection. Thank you, Westex. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sticking with me, coming back and checking out these live streams, of which there will be many more. 10 game levels. Yeah, this is like a party kind of game, multiplayer. All right. This one right here, I actually ended up selling a few of my CDI games, which I knew I would never play, to get, because this is pretty much supposed to be the best game on the console. This is a you know, hand-drawn, really nice looking 2D platformer here. Classic 2D platformer. Exclusive, I believe, to the CDI. Maybe it was on the PC. But this is just a cool looking game that is supposed to be very good. So I do want to play that. Another Mystic Midway game. And then we have Voyeur, which I love these, you know, full motion video games. This is definitely one of them. It's going to be like sexy, kind of early 90s erotic thriller, of which I don't like in the movies, but, you know, I think the video game will make for a fun time. Next up, we have the 3DO collection, of which I don't have many. It's you know, quality over quantity. I think I have some of the better games on the console and some of the cool ones. So, Escape from Monster Manor. This is the 3DO exclusive that is... Sorry, guys. I don't know why this is opened. Yeah, these boxes are strange. This is a 3DO exclusive first-person shooter. Not unlike Doom. Everything was sort of... Every first-person shooter was sort of like Doom back in the day. And this one has a spooky haunted house with ghosts and... Look at it. It looks so cute and spooky and cool. And so, yeah. So that one I still haven't played. This one I have played and almost beat it. God, this game is brutal. Must have gotten damaged, crushed recently here. Nintendo CDI games, which I've never played these. Yep. I'll see. Yeah, Nintendo CDI, Mario Hotel, and the 3 Zelda games, Wanda Gamelon, Zelda's Adventure, and one that I'm blanking on. Those are out of reach, impossible to get. They're not even supposed to be that good, but I do want to play them, definitely. Anyway, Flashback, look at that radical cover, and look at how long these boxes are compared to the PS2 ones, right? That's a long box, baby. More room for beautiful artwork. And Flashback is a great cinematic platformer, side-scroller, where you navigate through the cyberpunk, you know, go from the jungle to the cities, neon-bathed cities, and it's cyberpunk goodness. Very cool game, good story, solid, very fun. Got a bunch of sequels and ports and all that. This one got kind of damaged too along the way. It's a shame. That's one of the downfalls of these types of games is the big boxes, you know, they're just paper. Gex, this was, again, sort of the 3DO mascot at the time, and he was cool. He was cool at the time. He kind of paled in comparison to Sonic and stuff like that. He was a bit of a laughingstock. I will admit, but as a child, I still thought he was cool as hell, and his dialogue was quirky and funny and kind of unique for the time. It's a nice-looking game. It's a fun 2D platformer with beautiful, beautiful graphics, good music, a nice vibe to it. You know, it's about, like, going into different television channels, kind of like Stay Tuned, the movie. And I have beaten this on the 3DO, because I'm a maniac. Immersionary, this is a weird-looking lawnmower man type of game here, first-person shooter. It just looks so bizarre and so 90s in that, you know, cusp of the internet, virtual reality kind of aura that the early to mid-90s held. And this one just looks fun, looks cool. And it's pretty sure it's exclusive, if not maybe on the PC. Look at that cover. Tell me that is not a cool concept. Can you guys make out what that is? It's basically like a windshield with blood draped over it, you know, just covered on the windshield, and a windshield wiper cleaning it off with a little drip coming down. It's so artistic. Oh, yeah, I hear you, Jolly Good. Driving a cab in this town is murder. This is a full motion video / first-person shooter / first-person driving game. This is an open world game. Yes, and it came out 94, so way ahead of its time, and I still need to play it. Syndicate, a game I have on the Jaguar, which I admitted that I never really understood how to play fully, but this version is supposed to be even better than the Jag. I want both because I love the Jaguar. Usually I would just want the best port. This is supposed to be a pretty damn good port, and I love the artwork, and I fucking love Cyberpunk, and 3DO had a lot of Cyberpunk-like games. So, Flashback, Mercenaries, Syndicate, it was the cool shit at the time. And probably the crown jewel on the 3DO, a game that everybody loves. I have to hold these so far out because they're so big. Game that everybody loves, PC port here. This is Wing Commander 3, Heart of the Tiger, and my movie heads out there will recognize some of these faces, obviously. Who's that? I can't tell who that is. That, I believe, is Mark Hamill. That is obviously John Rhys Davies from all the movies. But yeah, this one is supposed to be a full motion video, science fiction, action, strategy, kind of flight simulator, shooter kind of thing. So, a series that I've never gotten into, admittedly. We have Burning Soldier. This one I got from a local video game shop recently. Anytime people have 3DO games, I'm like, ooh, I'm excited. Yes, yes, 3DO had money at the time. It wasn't a matter of having, but yeah, they were kind of trying to enter the video game market and didn't really have good marketing, didn't have good support, didn't have great first party titles. The technology was kind of in that middle area, you know, where Saturn and Jaguar and 3DO fell. But I still have a soft spot for all these consoles. And then Icebreaker. Icebreaker is a little puzzle game that I wish had, you know, shots on the back, but it's like an isometric puzzle game where you play as these wedges of a different colored ice, and they had to do different things, and very unique looking game. But Burning Soldier is also doesn't have any shots on the back. But this, I believe, a mecha game, if I'm not mistaken. All right, I'm gonna have a little sip of actual water here. I actually disagree. I think the Dreamcast ages fantastically. I think the frame rate, the game still looks smooth and arcadey. Maybe I'm just old and, you know, I view things from a different lens, but I think the fucking Dreamcast holds up remarkably. The games on that thing, the support by third party and first party. In my opinion, Sega knocked that one out of the park. So you're talking to the wrong guy, I guess. Because I love that console. I still think it holds up. I've been wanting to play it recently, to be honest. Guys, I do want to say, if you're enjoying this live stream or watching it on the archive, feel free to give it a thumbs up. We're just getting started here, so this is going to be a long one. Let's get it going. And also, I want to thank all the new subscribers that I've gotten over the last week or so because of the live streams I've been doing. I really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. Oh, okay, I got you, Jolly Good. All right, so we've got, I love these long box games. Again, compare the PS1 long boxes to the 3DO. This is Air Combat. They called it Air Combat for whatever reason. I guess they really wanted to emphasize what this was. Such a generic title. Ace Combat. This is actually Ace Combat. And it was the first in the series of Ace Combat games, of which there are 10 or 12 or 15 now. And this is an anime-inspired, Macross Plus-inspired kind of arcadey flight action game. Alien Trilogy, this kind of takes all the movies and throws them into one game. And this is a brutally hard game, but a very atmospheric and eerie and just awesome first-person shooter. This is such a cool game. I'm glad to still have this. I got this from my local mom-and-pop shop from back in the day. Not sure how we got it. My dad used to pay people off if he wanted a game. You know, he'd just be like, here's, you know, how much you want for this, we'll buy it. Never seen anything like that until I was an adult. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, the game cases. I got you, yeah. Yeah, these were so cool at the time. Same thing with, I tell stories about walking into CompUSA and getting like, seeing aisles upon aisles of big box PC games. It felt like it was infinite. And I love big boxes. I get they're not the most convenient thing and it's hard to produce and expensive, but back in the day, in the 90s, that stuff meant something to consumers. It doesn't as much anymore, and that breaks my heart. It just, I don't know. We don't appreciate art as much as we used to, I suppose, obviously, because of the degradation of it. But yeah, so Battle Arena Toshinden. Guys, this was the first PS1 game I ever got, and I've had it since 95, which is crazy. This is a pretty good 3D fighter. I mean, it still holds up pretty well. It is archaic. You know, it's one of the first, so... But I like this better than Virtua Fighter, and I like it better than Tobal number 1. This was a really fun game. Got a sequel, too. Defcon 5, a game I've never played, admittedly, but it's like a mecha kind of Descent-style shooter. PC port. Doom, this is not the greatest version of Doom, but I just think it's so cool to have this. I don't even have the manual. The game's kind of beat up. But look at that cover. Oh, it's so badass. I love Doom. One of my favorite games of all time. I've had this since back in the day. I got this from Academy Video. Back in the day when they were doing a sale. That was my local mom and pop shop. I'm not even going to open it. It's got the manual and everything. Beautiful game. So cool for the time, guys. Take a look at this. This is a first-person action platformer. Yes, you play as this robotic little rabbit guy, and at the time, this really simulated what it felt like. You guys ever have those dreams where you're jumping and, you know, you feel like you're kind of floating or flying, and then you alight, you come down, and you do it again, and Jumping Flash captures that better than anything I've ever played. It really is such an excellent little game that simulates what it's like to jump high into the air and fall back down. It still holds up. It's great. I have the sequel as well, which I showed you over there. All right, this is a really cool one, guys, that is not in the best of shape. I admit that. You know, it has seen better days. Even the disc is a little rough. It still plays, though. It's got the manual, real beat up. Hold on. Sorry. I want to check the disc because the disc, it's playable, but it's seen better days. This is cool because this is From Software. From Software has become one of the biggest third-party developers for consoles. They are known for the Souls series, so Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 through 3, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, all games that I love, the ones I've played at least, I absolutely adore. This is where From Software, they made games before this, don't get me wrong, but this is where they start to come up with that formula that we now know as Souls-like. This is a brutally hard game. CD Snapcase is better in my opinion. I agree with you. I hear you. They're more convenient and sharper looking, but there's something cool about the big boxes. What can I say? Kingsfield also got a sequel, of which I don't have. These are brutal games. I would like to sit down and torture myself. Look at some of the polygonal graphics here. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. This is the type of game my dad would play back in the day and get so pissed off and never play again. And then I would try to play it and get nowhere. Here's a crazy brutal and violent game for the time. This game blew my mind at the time. I was like, this is so fucking violent. Body bag not included, but it was also playful. It had balloons and clowns and really threw me for a loop as a boy. But I used to watch my father play this. My mom was not a fan. This was a very adult game, but it was tongue-in-cheek. You know, it was. But very violent, isometric, top-down kind of action shooter. Very fun game. Revolution X. I love this game. My sister and I used to play this all the time. My brother and I used to play this. My mom and I, we would sit down with a couple controllers and shoot up all the New World Order guys and listen to Aerosmith music. And it's amazing. Clowns never scared you as a kid. Well, they did freak me out as a kid. For whatever reason. I think it had something to do with that, you know. So, the original miniseries. This is a crazy game. I also have it on the Saturn. I wish you could use the light gun, but you can't. Don't ask me why. I have played this in the arcade, and it was just as fun. But a ridiculous game featuring Aerosmith. So over the top and fun. Ridge Racer! This is a great racing game. I love arcade racing games. This was the first Ridge Racer, and it is a big box version. Actually, the smaller jewel case version, I believe, goes for a ton more. Very hard to find. I've had this since the 90s too. My father picked this up back in the day, 95, and we played the hell out of this all the time. So atmospheric, so many cool backstories to these really well-defined characters, and I love this. Obviously, my favorite was always Sweet Tooth, the crazy clown murderer guy, but I also liked Roadkill, and just such a fun game. Not as good as 2, but still, this is where the series really began. All right, I'm going to have a sip of this now. Sip of water, sip of coffee, sip of water. God damn, that is fucking strong. All right. Thank you guys for sticking with me. We're getting to the PS2 now. Get ready. All right, we've got some Bond games here. It's like anywhere I go, I'm in the light. Babe and Toy Story, Casper. 30 years ago. Stop. 30 years? I remember sitting on the couch watching Toy Story over and over and over again. I must have been 7 or 8. Oh my god. You're making me feel old. All right, Agent Under Fire. All these Bond games are very good. There's 2 concurrent Bond series, the first-person games and the third-person games. Most people prefer the third-person series. I don't know. I like both. I think both have something to offer. This is a cool one because Sean Connery actually does the voice for Bond and From Russia with Love. Very neat. I wish they did more of these, like, based on the... No, I'm just playing, Jolly. I'm not actually upset. It's just a whiplash, you know? I wish they did more of these. Imagine, like, a Goldfinger game. That would have been so cool. Alien vs. Predator Extinction. This is a really neat and fun RTS starring the aliens and the predators. So, RTS meaning real-time strategy, not unlike Age of Empires and Command & Conquer, stuff like that. 3D graphics, though. I prefer when they were 2D sprites. Alter Echo, a game I haven't played. Very psychedelic, trippy-looking action game there. Ark the Lad, another series I haven't played, but this is a very... attainable PS2 JRPG here. It's like a $15 game still, I believe. Looks good, looks fun, but I don't know much about the series. I would like to play the PlayStation one first, but they're expensive. My brother and I are a fan. I've always been a fan of Olympic games, going back to track and field on NES. I love the Olympics, too. Just watching them, it's fun. PS2 was your second favorite. Nice. GameCube mostly my third favorite. I hear you. Those are great consoles. PS2 is incredible, as we'll see. As you can see, I have a lot of PS2. So just so you know, each one of these shelves holds about 80 or 85 video games. So, lots of PS2. But yeah, this is a Olympic game. I have a couple of them. I just think they're fun. I like games with a whole bunch of different mini games. I really do. This has 25 different events. All play subtly differently. Baldur's Gate, I've played this back in the day. It's been a long time. I remember enjoying it. The isometric sort of Western action RPG, not unlike Diablo. I prefer things like Fallout. That's more my style of Western RPG. I guess the old Bethesda style. But I do need to get into these more. Give it a shot. We have All Guns Blazing. I'm sorry. All Guns Blazing. We have Black. All Guns Blazing. Black is a crazy fast-paced first-person shooter, arcadey style, controls really well. This is an insane game. Guns are the stars. Every bullet is your baby. Bigger guns, louder explosions. Leave a trail of destruction. Get creative with your kills. Yes, very fun game. Fast-paced, over the top. That was the era. Sorry, breathe these out a little bit. All right, back in the day, we played the bouncer. Excuse me. Back in the day, the bouncer. Sorry, sometimes I slip into old Southern man. Fallout Boy looks like the Fallout Boy looks like Tintin. Well, Fallout Boy, what are you referring to? This game was a launch title for the PS2 and was a big deviation for for Squaresoft. They were really trying different things, new things. Looks like a Final Fantasy game with the very, very Final Fantasy inspired characters here, but it is actually a beat 'em up, a 3D beat 'em up, that with controls that don't hold up too well. They're nuanced. They take some time to get used to. It's a cool game. I would never get rid of the bouncer. It reminds me of when I first got my PS2. It was probably one of the first games I played along with Onimusha, which was the first. All right, we have Bully. This is a open world college game where you play as a kid who is a bully and also is bullied, I guess, from what I remember. And he's kind of in the middle. He kind of just makes fun of everyone, which is great. What is the earliest film? That's a good question. Earliest film I'd give 5 stars to. King Kong? Probably King Kong, off the top of my head. We have Burnout 2. Burnout, again, racing games are... I love racing games, but I love arcadey racing games even more. The only simulation I really like is GT, Gran Turismo. But Burnout 2 is awesome. Yeah, Lost World is close, but it has some glaring issues. Nosferatu is fantastic. The Man Who Laughs is damn near perfect. We have a survival horror game. I'm a big survival horror fan, and these PS2 ones are ridiculously expensive these days. That's why it's in like a plastic case. This is Cold Fear. It takes place on a boat. Survival horror, kind of The Thing-ish, on a creepy, eerie, atmospheric boat. Here's my copy of Contra the Shattered Soldier, I've already talked about. Wrath of Cortex. I sat down and played some of this the other night. The original Frankenstein, yeah, absolutely. Burnout 3, Revenge as a Kid, and I did love those. Yeah, those are fantastic. They're even better than 2. Crash Bandicoot, this is the 4th game in the mainline series, and it takes some deviations. The problem is this is not developed by Naughty Dog, and it feels like that. It feels like a facsimile. It feels like a shell of its former self, and it is. The problem with this game, though, is there's not enough platforming stages. They throw all these different kinds of stages at you where you're flying, you're swimming, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a classic Crash game to me. And the main issue is that the fucking loading times are like 45 seconds to over a minute. And I was like practicing meditation in between the loading times. And it happens when you go into a level or exit a level. It's ridiculous. Dark Cloud, a game which I have beaten. Brutally hard game. I love this game though. More of a PlayStation and Nintendo kid. I would say Nintendo for most of the 90s, yes. But PlayStation did start to grab my attention, that's for sure. Especially because we traded a bunch of Super Nintendo games to get the original PS1. So, but I was always more of a Nintendo. I'm Nintendo and Sony. That's really, I love both. I love both equally. They both do things differently. And yeah, Dark Cloud is an awesome game. Dark Cloud 2, I still really haven't played. Yeah, it's a fun game, Jolly Good. I agree. I agree that it was a fun game. It's just the loading time. It doesn't hold up as well. And if you've played 1 through 3 as much as I have, they're just better games. Naughty Dog developed them better. That's the thing. Yeah, I'm forgetting about Sega. You know, some of my earliest memories playing games are the NES and the Sega. And both hold a special place in my heart. It's just that Sega died with the Dreamcast, right? Pretty much. They develop games and they're still great. But the console, you know, they stopped producing consoles, which breaks my heart still to this day. I love all 3. What can I say? They all have their place. Dead to Rights 2, a game I haven't played. I like the first one, though. Def Jam Vendetta. I used to have Fight for New York. Vendetta. GameCube remains your favorite console? Yeah, GameCube is a fantastic console. I was just playing Pikmin 2 the other night. Def Jam Vendetta, as a hip-hop fan, this appealed to me greatly back in the day. We used to get out of high school and go play this at my house. And Def Jam Fight for New York, it was even better, but that one's like a $160, $180 game now. Destroy All Humans, 1950s B-movie style open world game where you play as the aliens and you have to destroy all the humans. Devil May Cry 1 through 3, Capcom. I love Devil May Cry. I've beaten 1, 2, and 3. Next one up is 4. My favorite of the 3 is probably still 1. Devil May Cry 3 is a better game, though. Competitively, the only game that I was pretty good at competitively was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and 3. Yeah, the Def Jam games are awesome. I used to run people for their money back in the day on Tony Hawk. I would meet people who were like, I'm a great Tony Hawk player. You definitely can't beat me. And I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. Put some money up and we'll go to my place and we'll play on the console of your choice, sir. And I used to scrape motherfuckers because I knew how to do modifiers and, multipliers and all that stuff. I was just better. And then one day I met my match, a guy named Gus. I used to rap with him. His name was Grim Dada. We used to do tracks together. I still have tracks. One day I'm going to post those and see what you guys think of my old hip-hop tracks. I've got a new one I'm working on too. But Tony Hawk, I would say, is the game that I was really, really good at. These days, I'd have to... There's no way I can compete with these people. I mean, it's insane. So, Ed, and Eddie, I've already talked about. Endgame, this is actually a light gun game, which is super fun. Enter the Matrix. Oh man, this game was so fucking cool at the time. I was a huge Matrix fan, obviously. I still love the art, the box, how it kind of refracts. Awesome game, directed by the Wachowskis. Just really fun Matrix game with scenes that weren't in the movie. They shot a bunch of exclusive stuff. Feels like the same atmosphere of Reloaded and the original Matrix. It's just so much fun. Guy named Gus. I guess Walter might confirm. I've never seen Breaking Bad. I don't get the reference, but I get it enough to understand what you're saying. Def Jam was a hip-hop fighting game. It is with all the old Def Jam artists. Matrix Path of Neo was a sequel to Enter the Matrix, actually, which I have never played. But I do want to sit down and play both of these. This one you play as fucking Keanu. This one I don't remember playing as Keanu. You play as some of the other ancillary characters. Here we have a couple of games here. What's your favorite Matrix ripoff? The One is a very, very good one. I would probably have to agree with that off the top of my head. We've got a couple Olympic games here. These are cool. These both came out at launch on the PS2, and I've had them pretty much since then. And these are actually both From Software games. Early From Software games. One is a first-person game, not unlike Kingsfield. And the other is a third-person action game. But these are brutally hard, From Software games that don't get enough love that I think are really cool. Evil Dead, Fistful of Boomstick. Yes, there were Evil Dead games. There were a couple. Regeneration's another one. And this is a fun game. If you like the movies, you'll like these games. You just go around killing deadites. It's got Ted Raimi as your little sidekick. I don't think Bruce Campbell does his... Oh, yeah, he does return to voice Ash. So there you go. Very authentic. And a fun little beat-em-up / shoot-em-up kind of game. Extermination. Super underrated. First-party survival horror game from the early days of the PS2. This came out in 2001. It's a little clunky these days, but very atmospheric. Kind of feels like The Thing meets Resident Evil. And I've played through this. It is a very fun game. I highly recommend it. Fantavision. This is a game I still don't really get. I need to sit down and actually try to understand how to play this game, because it is a cool puzzle game. Very unique, where you control fireworks, and I just don't really get it. I never have. This was a launch title and really showed off the particle physics of the PS2. Fatal Frame 2 and 3, I've only played Fatal Frame 1 and got stuck and never finished it. It's very difficult. These two are probably a little bit more accessible, and I would like to play them at some point. These are pretty expensive nowadays. I do have Fatal Frame 1 disc only on the Xbox. We have Final Fantasy X. I love Final Fantasy X, the second Final Fantasy game I ever completed. The first was 7. And X2, a game that I wasn't huge on, but my buddy Ray... I doubt you're watching, Ray. If you are, what's up, my friend? And Ray and I used to play these kinds of games all the time, and he loved this game. He thought it was great, and I never really got into it. 12 is when the series really starts to change. 11 was the MMO, and 12, I think, is the first one with real-time combat. I could be wrong. Does this have turn-based combat? I forget. But it does come in a nice steelbook. Yet to play that one. This one's cool. Capcom developed this one. Very unique pinball game called Flipnik. It's almost like an action-adventure platformer with pinball as the backdrop. Very unique, very cool, and again, developed by Capcom, so you can't go wrong with that. All right, guys, I need to use the bathroom, and we're going to continue momentarily. I'll be right back. I'll be back. Yeah. Alrighty. I'm back. I'll take a sip of the coffee here. Alright. Alright. We're gonna continue here. Alright. Yeah, I figured today I wouldn't have as many people in the chat because it is like 12 on a weekday on Monday. But it is Memorial Day, so figured, I don't know. When I have time, I'm going to make content. That's what I enjoy doing. All right, folks. The second row of games. We're an hour in, and we only gotten to the second row. We may have to split this into 4 parts. I'm insane. I'm insane. All right. Moving on. Let's check the battery. We're at 57. Once we get lower, I could plug in. All right, folks. We have Front Mission 4. These are so cool to me. I've never really sat down and tried to complete one of these, but these are turn-based Japanese RPGs with mecha. And I think that combination of words is one of the coolest that one could say. Gauntlet Dark Legacy, I've already showed you. Genji, Dawn of the Samurai. This one is an Onimusha-like game. Some have called it a ripoff. The developer refuses that, obviously. I've never played it. This has another game. I want to say... Yeah, I don't have... Okay, I thought I had the PS3 one, but I don't have the PS3 one. If this one's good, I obviously want to play the PS3 one. These games were so cool back in the day. I've never finished Black Monday, but I did the Getaway. So after GTA 3... it opened up the floodgates for open world crime games. And we got one out of England. This takes place in London with the real Cockney gangsters. And this is absolutely fantastic. At the time, the fact that you could hold people hostage and then shoot them in the head was crazy to me. You could just basically kill anybody in this open world. And, you know, if it was a game, obviously GTA 3, you could do that, but you couldn't hold people hostage and, like, pop them in the head, you know. It's crazy. For the time, it was nuts and super violent, and I shouldn't have been playing it. I was 15 at this time. That's fine. Extreme violence is fine for 15-year-olds. But the sequel I've yet to play, and I would like to. It might even be better. Who knows? Ghost in the Shell. Oh, that reminds me. For my anime heads out there, somehow I skipped a few games from my PS1 collection. All right, so these are so fucking cool to have. What's up, Brandon? Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. We're taking a look at my PS2 games right now. It's an hour in, but we're just getting started. We have Ghost in the Shell on the PS1. I forgot to show you guys this one. I hate that it has that fucking sticker there. I found this at a flea market for like $2 years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. Helicopters, messing around the helicopter was super fun. This is a Ghost in the Shell game that plays like an arcade game. It is so fast-paced, so cool. The controls are nuanced, but once you get them, it's awesome. Incredible Crisis, an insane game. This is based on a whole bunch of different mini-games. It's absolutely insane and super difficult. I don't even know how to describe this. One mini-game, you're dancing with a whole bunch of businessmen in an office. Then there's a giant pink teddy bear. It's fucking crazy. Great music. My brother and I played this one night. Maybe or maybe not with illicit substances. It's just awesome. Let's see. Ain't I a stinker? Ain't I a stinker? Then we have Jet Moto 2. I need Jet Moto 1 and 3 still. These are all fun arcadey racing games where you have these like speeder bikes kind of from Star Wars. That's basically what it is. And then last but not least, not last but not least, but you know what I mean. Ghost in the Shell, standalone complex. It's one of the newer. I've added this to my collection a few years ago. I've not played this one. Looks like more of a third-person action game based on SAC, the standalone complex. Whereas the first one is based on the original movie. Playing a villain in John Wick? Tom Cruise. That's interesting. Tom Cruise, you know how I feel about Tom Cruise. He's the last American action hero. He is great. I am going to see Dead Reckoning 2. The last movie I saw in theaters, I think, was Dead Reckoning 1. Goblin Commander. Feels like it's missing the artwork or the manual, but this looks like a real-time strategy tower defense kind of game. I don't know much about it. Admittedly. God of War 1 and 2. I recently played through God of War 1. Fantastic game. I'm not sure. Can Tom Cruise play a villain? Yeah, I think he can. Why not? He's good enough. It would be difficult because we know him as the action hero, but I'm willing to give it a shot. We have Godfather the game. Literally, The Godfather, the game. This is a really cool game back in the day where you could, move up in the ranks of the mob. You can extort people, shake them down, kill them, blow shit up. It's a fun game. Again, after GTA 3, it opened up the floodgates for these types of games, which I was all for. We also get a Scarface game. So cool. A really, really fun Godzilla game. If you're a fan of Godzilla, play this game. You play through it, you unlock new monsters, which is super fun, stages, all that kind of stuff. This has all the monsters, but you do have to unlock them, and I love doing stuff like that. So, 15 other, yeah, it has 15 monsters total. So not all of them, but hey, it says hidden monsters. This is a fun kind of 3D arena fighting game, and it is 2 players. GT3, God almighty, this may be the PS2 game I put the most hours into. Me and my buddy Dom were into cars at this time, and not a big Godzilla son of Godzilla, no. I think Manila is kind of annoying most of the time, if I'm being honest. I appreciate that you're a fan of him. Let's see. So GT3, Gran Turismo, my buddy and I used to rig the controller so that we would get the fastest car, and we'd rig the controller so that like with a rubber band so that it would win races while we can go out and like be hooligans. And we unlocked everything in this game. It's such a fun game. It's a simulation racing game. It's not for everyone, but back in the day I had my phase of enjoying vehicles for whatever reason. I don't care about cars anymore, but that's part of growing up, right? Byron Vampire. I used to play GT with my brother. Oh, yeah. Gran Turismo, baby. Gran Turismo 4, never got into it as much, but we did play quite a bit. And here's the series that changed gaming forever. And we're still reckoning with open world games today because of it. This is a classic game with an atmosphere of nostalgia. And it's just such an iconic game. Great music. Great characters, quirky characters. Oh, Fast and Furious? Yeah, I like about half of them. I think half of them are really good action movies. The other half are like really not great action B movies. But my favorite is what? 4, 5, or 6. I forget which one is the best. I think it's 5. One of them blew me away. Like, is it the one that's more of a heist movie? I forget. But I do like them. Hey, man. They're big, bodacious, loud action movies, so I'm easy. I'm a guy, after all. Liberty City Stories is actually a game I never played. Vice City, probably the best of the 3. Great music, 80s vibes. Yeah. Let's see. San Andreas, Liberty City Stories. Haven. This is a game that I haven't played. Traveler's Tales did... Actually, I think they did... Didn't they do this? Yeah, Traveler's Tales also developed the Crash games, and they did Haven. And they're still developing the Lego games, I believe, to this day. I did catch the latest GTA 6 trailer, and it looks absolutely mind-blowingly phenomenal. The culture that they're able to represent, and it exudes from the screen. Like, you feel like you're in Vice City and Florida and sort of Miami. It looks amazing. I mean, I hope they deliver. This is a $1 billion game, $2 billion, I think, that they've spent on this game. Take as much time as you want, and yeah, I'm excited for GTA 6, just like everybody else is, and I hope it delivers. I'm down with the Bonnie and Clyde-like story. Sonic R, also Traveler's Tales. There you go. Haven't played that one. All right, we've got Headhunter. This was a, Metal Gear Solid-inspired kind of shooter here. I don't know much about it, if I'm being honest with you, but definitely want to play that one. Hurdy-gurdy. I like that cover. Very Disney or DreamWorks. I love the art style here. Look at it. It's kind of washed out, almost saturated, cell shading almost. It's a very nice looking style here. Eidos and Core developed this one. Never played it. It's actually... Oh, okay. No, it's not a real seal. This was resealed, it seems. Same thing with Haven is resealed. We've got Civil War, A Nation Divided. As a history fan, obviously, I think it's kind of cool to play a first-person shooter. Civil War, first-person shooter, so I still want to try that. My brother found this at a thrift shop recently, and I took it from him because I was like, I need a copy of that. So, this is supposed to be one of the better Hitmans, Silent Assassin, despite it being greatest hits. hurdy-gurdy a little bit. Weird game in my opinion. Interesting. Yeah. I do want to try it. Hot Shots Golf, not as fun as Mario Golf, but still a good golf game. Hot Shots Golf 3. Hunter the Reckoning, a fun isometric action game, 2 players, monster hunting kind of thing. Kind of fun. Eco, one of my favorite PS2 games. I think this game is absolutely beautiful and artistic and poignant and has a ton of pathos, and the world it builds is, it's just so epic and melancholic and beautiful. Beautiful architecture, makes you feel like you're in a city that giants built, and you play this little boy just trying to save this young girl. Very Zelda-like in that sense, but darker, a lot darker. And the environmental puzzles in this game are just some of the best I've ever played. Let's see, Byron Vampire says, does your day job also... Let's see here. I'll try to answer. Does your day job also involve movies and games, Mike? Well, I work part-time at a game shop. Yep. eBay, I sell on eBay on the side, and I also caretake. And all revolve around movies and games in some way. I'm lucky I've been able to, I don't have much money, but I get by. Which is all I want to do in life. You'd be so great at helping people. Thank you, Byron. That means a lot to me, and I do help people quite a bit. I like helping people. I enjoyed the Harry Potter games and Tomb Raider, the very first ones. Oh yeah, Tomb Raider, the first one is fantastic. Grew up watching any of the late night shows? Conan actually, O'Brien. Conan O'Brien I grew up watching, and I always thought he was the funniest. I don't watch any of the fools doing it now, like Jimmy Fallon, Kimmel, and all these people I'm not a fan of. Staff of Kings, this one's pretty nasty. Water damage. I hate water damage because it produces mold. And every once in a while you have to clean these. But sometimes I just want the game, and the disc is fine. Yeah, and to be honest, Norm Macdonald, I love Norm Macdonald, of course. Conan, I haven't watched in probably 15 years, but at late 90s, early 2000s, Conan, he was just so funny. Jackass the game. Gutted what happened to him with Jay Leno in 2010. I don't know much about that. Conan was the best. Yeah, he was the best. Jackass the game is actually a fun game made up a whole bunch of ridiculous and over-the-top stunts or mini-games where you play as the guys. It's what you would expect from a Jackass game, and it's actually fun, believe it or not. Especially with more than one person. This game is crazy. It's 4 players, actually. Jak and Daxter, I love these games. Actually, I'm going to rewind a little bit. Yeah, rest in peace, Norm Macdonald. I love this game. This is one of the best open-world 3D platformers ever. I love the style of this, very Disney-like, very bouncy, Naughty Dog in its prime. 2 and 3 I haven't played. I've heard really good things about both of them. This one I've not heard many good things about. Looks like it takes some deviations, and obviously Naughty Dog did not develop it. It's not a good sign. Katamari Damacy is a crazy Japanese game that could have only been made in Japan, where you start as this little ball and you pick things up, you get bigger, and next thing you know, you're scooping up humans and buildings and cows and all sorts of shit and trying to make your Katamari ball as big as possible. And it gets to the point where you're basically, absorbing the universe onto your ball. It's ridiculous. These games are amazing and unique and quirky and Japanese and fun. Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, I prefer Crash Bandicoot too. Basically, he finally got the Tonight Show gig, which he had worked for 2 decades, with Jay Leno promising to step down. Then Jay Leno, 6 months later, backpedaled, and Conan was fired from it. There you go. Okay. Then he started like a podcast, right? Kessin. Very unique Koei strategy game where you can actually get on the ground and do some damage to the infantry yourself. I thought that was really cool. Koei usually doesn't have action bits, sort of like Dynasty Warrior style, but this is very fun. And was back in the day. I still need Kessin 2. I think there might be a 3. Kill Switch. This is for my buddy Billy. Him and I really love this game. One of the early duck and cover shooters. It kind of looks like Snake, doesn't it? Definitely doesn't play like Metal Gear. It plays like Metal Gear if Metal Gear didn't have any stealth, so it's not really Metal Gear. But it's a fun game. Namco directed this. It's great. Killzone was a really unique playing first-person shooter at the time, with the Hellgast and very Nazi-like, and the Nazis had all this crazy technology. And Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, beautiful games, very poignant games, and Kingdom Hearts 2 will always remind me of my boy, my dog, who has passed away a few months ago. Sorry if I get emotional here, but I named him after Roxas in this game. I ended up calling him Rocky, which fit him, but they'll always have a place in my heart, the Kingdom Heart games. Are you a fan of John Carpenter's action genre films as well? Of course, Escape from New York is one of the best, and Escape from L.A. seems rather prescient. L.A. is not doing too hot, and it seems like it's slipping closer and closer to Escape from L.A. territory. Kingsfield, the Ancient City. This is another Kingsfield game. I want to say the third one. PS2, so the graphics look better, and this is From Software, really coming into its own. I've heard great things about that. Klonoa 2, a great 2.5D platformer. The Klonoa series is great fun, and I still need the first game, Door to Phantomile, which I don't have. It's very expensive. Yeah, they are longer games, that's for sure. And these days, it's hard to play long games. Here we have 1 through 3, Lord of the Rings. These were EA action RPG games. This one, I've never played. Same kind of thing. I hear it's pretty good, not as refined as these two. These were pretty amazing at the time, I thought. Lord of the Rings Third Age is a turn-based RPG within the world of Lord of the Rings. It takes place before, spanning all three films. I thought it was before, but there you go. And yeah, one I definitely want to play at some point, but I haven't gotten into. Mace Griffin Bounty Hunter. This is a first-person shooter that I've never played. Mad Maestro. This is another quirky Japanese rhythm kind of game here that I've never played. I really would like to. Mafia. I played this on the PC back in the day, and I prefer the PC version, but the PS1 version ain't bad. And I also have the remake down there, which is even better. Mark of Kree, I want to say these had like old Disney animators that worked on the animation here. These are action games that, to be honest, I've never played. Rise of the Kasai is the sequel. These are fun games. These are from the series Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts. And these are 3D action platformers that really retain the spirit of the original 2D games. I don't have a PS2 copy of Crazy Taxi. I have it on the Dreamcast, which I prefer it on. I did own that at one point, but we've got the Medal of Honor games here, Frontline and Rising Sun. I think there's one or two more on the PS2 that I would like. These are great story-driven first-person shooters that take place during World War II. And is this the one where you storm D-Day? Yeah, this one is crazy. Oh my god, at the time, after watching like Saving Private Ryan. Mega Man X7, X8 I haven't played, admittedly, but I'm a fan of the Mega Man series. Metal Gear Solid 2, an incredible game. Metal Gear Solid 2 is my second favorite of the series. I still love the first one more. At the time, this game was mind-blowing. The fact that you could hide bodies in lockers, you could, knock people out with a tranquilizer gun, you could drag their bodies. It just seemed like you could do so many cool things in this game, and it's part of gaming that I think is gone now, like that novelty of new mechanics, and I don't know, there's just not much innovation these days. This one I've played on the original console. How would I rank my hobbies? That's a good question. Have you played any old Spawn games? I haven't played any old Spawn games. How would I rate my hobbies? I would say it's really hard, man. I think books are the foundation for everything, like thought. I like thinking, I like learning things, I'm addicted to those things, and it's hard to say. Off the top of my head, music means everything to me. I mean, I'm a fucking musician, so all these art means a lot to me, and it's hard to rank them. If I had to, I would say books number one, just because of their importance. I think they're the most important. Movies, video games, music, but they all are equally important to me. I don't know. It's a tough question, dude. Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake Eater, not my favorite, but I have to say I played it in its original form, which Kojima wasn't even a fan of, with the fixed camera angles that is not conducive of good gameplay in this game because you can't see what's going on. But they changed it to kind of behind the back camera, and I need to play that. I do own that on the collection. Other PS1 games, I've only played family-friendly PS2 and GameCube games at the time. Yep, I get you. Yeah, hard questions for sure. I figured TV would be dead last, so it doesn't even... Yeah, I don't watch much TV. I enjoy some shows, don't get me wrong, but I don't watch much TV, as you guys know. I just think today it's closer to soap operas, really well-done soap operas, character pieces. It's all about the characters, where I like cinema because it's all of the art forms in one. You know, great cinematography, great music, great acting, great characters, writing, all that. And a good TV show can have all that, but they are confined in what they could do creatively. And I'm all about creativity in art. Midnight Club 2 and Midnight Club 3 games. I've only played the first one, games I really need to get into. This I don't have the disc for, but this is a Japanese franchise of baseball games that's really fun. Do I like to paint or draw? No, I suck at painting and drawing. I make music, I compose music, I write. That's kind of my art. My sister got the drawing. She's fantastic. Take a lot longer to watch. Shows take a lot longer to watch. That is so true. So true. I'm gonna have to pee again soon. All right. Not very good at painting. I mean, if I sat down and tried, I think I'd be okay. I could learn. But, yeah, not where my creativity is strongest, that's for sure. More of a storyteller, you know, / music. I love telling stories with my hip-hop. Guys, check out Howl at the Moon on my channel. It's a werewolf gangster rap song, basically, where I play the character of a guy who is transforming into a werewolf and how he deals with it psychologically. I'm really proud of that, so check that out if you want to hear my music. And if you want to see my filmmaking, I have one short film up on the channel called Handy. If I had to end up in one post-apocalyptic film, which would you choose? Road Warrior. Desolation. Gotta become a hardened, criminal in that world. Mojo. This is a game I picked up for $1 at the Goodwill recently, and it's worth about $1. But it looks kind of unique in a puzzle kind of way. It's multiple players, so I picked those up. Not Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls. NBA Street, this game is like the PS2 version of NBA Jam. We played the hell out of this in a time where, there's all these street basketball games like NBA Ballers and Street Hoops. I love this game. We actually played this recently. Still holds up. I need NBA Street 2, though, and that one's even better. Oh my god, I played the hell out of this with one of my first girlfriend, actually. We played the hell out of this. I got my mom into it, my stepfather. Everybody played this game. Super fast-paced, arcadey, underground street racing game. Just really fun. One of the best Need for Speed games. NHL Hits, a great arcadey, Midway-produced hockey game, like Blitz, but with hockey. Ninja Assault by Namco. This is another light gun shooter with the GunCon 2, which I have. Very fun. Odin Sphere. Very difficult game here by Atlas. I forget what the company... It's weird, they don't have the company that developed it, I don't think, on here. But yeah, beautifully hand-drawn, 2D action RPG. Very difficult, with a very unique combat system. Okage, this is not a very unique combat system. This is very traditional turn-based here. Chell's game, that's a copyright song. Oh, interesting, I didn't know that, jolly good. And very cutesy, but also kind of Tim Burton-esque, very atmospheric, simple story, very fun, very fun. Find the energy to watch films after working. Currently working multiple jobs, and I'm so exhausted. Well, I fall asleep too, if the movie's really boring, but I don't know. Yeah, I work over 40 hours a week too, and I don't know, after 9 p.m., 9 p.m., it's kind of my time to do whatever I want, whether it's creative or watch a movie or play a game, and I go to sleep around 12, so I have a couple hours a night that I dedicate to this stuff. And I should write more, but here we have Okami. This is the greatest hits version. It is what it is. This is a Capcom game, beautifully hand-drawn, self-shaded graphics, with a really unique art style and really unique gameplay. but also reminiscent enough of Zelda. So it plays a lot like Zelda. Onimusha, one of the most underrated franchises in all of gaming, in my opinion. Onimusha is samurai, feudal samurai era, mixed with Resident Evil. It is exactly that, almost. And so is the second and third game. The fourth one ups the ante and makes it more of a fast-paced action game. Very difficult. I got stuck in this recently. I tried to beat it, because I beat the first three. Just played through this on the PS4 again. I need this on the 360 because that's how I originally played it. This one is supposed to be pretty good too, but the 360 version has better graphics. This is a very cinematic game where you play as a human, Adrian Brody's character from the film, and you also play as King Kong and you rip dinosaurs' heads off. It's fun as hell. Really good movie-based game. I think these are fun. The old Jam Packs, summer 2001. Never worked in a movie theater, no. Bookstores mostly, and game shops and stuff like that. These used to have a bunch of demos for games, and it was really cool at the time to play demos. They always had little secrets on the disc, too, that you could figure out. The Prince of Persia games, yeah, King Kong, check them out. All the versions are pretty good, even the GBA one. I don't know about the DS one, that's interesting. We have another Prince of Persia game here. I've never played. Sands of Time, I have tried to get into like 3 or 4 times, and I just can't get down with it. I don't know what it is. Everybody says this is one of the best games ever made, and action games, and I do need to verify that. I need to play that game. Guys, I'm sorry to do this to you, but I have to use the bathroom again. I'm drinking too much coffee. I'll be right back. All right, folks. It's getting hot in here, so I'm going to keep this door open. One more sip. Yeah, demos are kind of a thing of the past, huh? All right. See if I missed any comments here. Nope, good. Perfect. All right, guys. Next up, we have Quake 3 Revolution. A game I've never played. Love Sands of Time? Yeah, everybody does. I need to get into that game. I need to really give it a chance. And I know the controls are a little nuanced with how you run on walls, and the time mechanic is unique, and I just need to get into it. Can't go wrong with Quake. R-Type Final. I am a shooter fan. I just am picky with my shooters because some of them are too fucking hard. I can admit that. This is a beautiful looking side-scrolling shoot 'em up here. Shooter is what we used to call them back in the day. Yeah, see, this is attests to that. We used to call them shooters, not shmups. R-Type is still going strong to this day. Ratchet and Clank. I wish I had the black label, but that's okay. I love the original Ratchet and Clank. I've played this one. I love this one too. I haven't played that one or that one, which looks like it gets super edgy. Insomniac did it though, so there you go. Yeah, Insomniac, the same people who did, what would we talk about? Spyro, right? The same company. Next up, we have Red Dead Revolver, a game that I played back in the day but haven't played since. And I should give this another shot because I played Red Dead Redemption 2 a couple years ago, and oh my god, that's one of my favorite games of all time. I have never been so emotionally moved by a game. It was incredible. Red Faction. That's one of my favorite stories. Red Dead Redemption 2. No question. One of the best told stories in games, period. Same thing with Ghost of Tsushima, which is getting a sequel, Ghost of Yokai, or it's Yokai, I think. This game was so effing awesome at the time. It always reminded me of Total Recall, for one. Very science fiction. Takes place on Mars. Join the revolution. Has a very, like,
sort of communist uprising. I can't remember if it's... I know the sequel is like a whole bunch of communists, a communist uprising against a fascist government, that kind of thing. So this game also has some of that. And I know more about politics now, so this would be more enjoyable. Even more enjoyable. But at the time, it was so cool. They had this geomod technology where you could just destroy anything. So if you wanted to burrow your way through like a tunnel, you could by shooting at the rock, and then you could get to the other side of the tunnel. It was so mind-blowing at the time. Still holds up. Still don't see many mechanics like this in games. It's awesome. Red Faction 2, I've actually never played. That's crazy, right? Yeah, looks just as good. Here you go for my movie heads out there. This is a sealed copy of Reservoir Dogs for the PS2. Yes, Reservoir Dogs for the PS2. I've never heard anybody talk about this. I don't think most people know this exists. It follows the movie, I guess, very closely. I have no clue what to expect from this game. But one day I will play it on streaming, if I could get my streaming up and running. Resident Evil Code Veronica X. This was a big deal at the time. It had a demo for Devil May Cry, which I played over and over and over and over again. And I also played Resident Evil Code Veronica quite a bit. It's so good. It is one of the best Resident Evil games. Can't wait for a remake of this. Gris? Yeah, Gris is like a beautiful hand-drawn 2D platformer, right, Byron? I do want to play that one. It looks cool. Like a walkthrough puzzle. Yeah, I gotcha. Beautiful hand-drawn graphics. Very like watercolor, if I remember right. Yeah, Gris. It always reminds me of Griffiths from Berserk. But yeah, Resident Evil Code Veronica X. This is an updated version of Code Veronica from the Dreamcast. Resident Evil Dead Aim. This is a GunCon 2 Resident Evil game. Shooter. Very fun. Underrated, I'd say. Outbreak. This was an online-only game, or online game at the time. I think this does have a one-player mode. Don't know much about this. Not very talked about Resident Evil game, but I need all the Resident Evil games in my collection because I'm a huge fan. Rez. This is also on the Dreamcast in Europe and Japan, but not in the West, or not in America. So we got a copy of it, a port of it, on the PS2. It's a rhythm game, action rhythm game I've always wanted to play. Got a sequel years ago called Child of Eden. Ridge Racer 5. Ridge Racer 5 with the hot Asian chick there, Japanese chick. And arcadey action, a very good game. Rise to Honor, sort of like, yeah, when online PS2 games were a thing, yeah. Sort of like Max Payne. Jet Li definitely sponsored this one. It was based on Jet Li movies and sort of his Coming to America tour, you know? You don't want to see my Hobbit feats. What, kitty? Rise to Honor I still haven't played, but I'm a big fan of Max Payne-like games, so there you go. Level 5 developed this wonderful cel-shaded pirate, sky pirate action, or RPG, turn-based RPG. I really enjoy this game. From what I've played, I haven't really played enough of it, to be honest. Actually, if I remember correctly, it's real-time combat. It was a unique system. Made by the guys who did Dark Cloud. What does Kitty want? Kitty wants the same thing that Kitty always wants, and that's love and attention, snuggles, as well as food more than anything, and, you know, plotting your demise. That's what kitties always want. Rygar, one of the most underrated God of War clones. I think this game is atmospheric, great graphics, fun, retains some of the spirit of the original in some 2D side-scrolling areas. This game could have been bad, but they really put a lot into it, and it's just as good, in my opinion, as the first God of War. Maybe not quite as good, but it is so fun. And I always stuck up for good old Rygar. Lasagna or cat food, yeah. Whatever my brother chooses to feed him. Scarface, The World Is Yours. Guys, you want to hear a great Al Pacino impression? The guy they got for this was okayed by Al Pacino, and it is just a crazy even more over the top than the movies. This is kind of an alternate reality where, Tony Montana gets shot up, but survives and then goes on a rampage of killing and drug running and trying to move up back to his spot on top. It's fantastic. Shadow of the Colossus, the sequel, spiritual successor and sequel to Eco. This is a game that is brutally hard, that a lot of people love, that I have not been able to get into. I have tried. It's very frustrating. The controls are rather nuanced. Here's a game that not many talk about, a game I've had since back in the day. This is a Konami game, and it was one of the first adventure games I had played, definitely on the PS2. I have not played Dot Hack. No, I haven't played those games. Haven't gotten into those. They are harder to find these days, and some of them are really exorbitantly expensive. But Shadow of Destiny, a very unique adventure game with a time travel mechanic. You solve puzzles. It's like Resident Evil without the action in some ways, but it is a cinematic story-based game. So be ready to basically watch your game and interact with it every once in a while. Very unique game. I have a soft spot for this. Very nostalgic. I hope it holds up. Shadow Hearts, a game that I've had for a long time. I haven't completed, but I have gotten into a little bit. Very gothic. Takes place at the turn of the century, I want to say, like around 1900. And a very unique battle system where you have this wheel and you have to time it. So it's very engaging in that sense where, you actually have to interact and try to get good timing on your hits. And the better timing you have, the more damage they do. Shadow Man 2. I haven't played Shadow Man 1 since back in the day, so haven't played that one. Way too much time to get the plot entirely. Yeah. They are expensive games. Yes. We have Shinobi. This was the reboot of the Shinobi series, of which I am a huge fan. I have all the Shinobi games pretty much, and I'm super excited about the new one coming out to the Switch and PS5. Beautiful 2D hand-drawn. In fact, last night when the power went out, I played the 3DS version of Shinobi, and very difficult game, but demands your focus just like the old games, and very challenging in the best way possible. This was the first attempt to do a 3D game here for Shinobi, and they nailed it. This is a fast-paced, fun ninja game. We have some of the Silent Hill games. I don't have 3. God, I need 3. I had it back in the day, and for whatever reason, I got rid of it. Now it's like a $200 fucking game. Silent Hill Origins, though, another very expensive game. I haven't played, and Silent Hill 2, a classic. I've played and beaten this. I've also played and beaten the remake. Both are phenomenal. Sylphie the Lost Planet. This is a Working Designs game. Treasure developed. You know it's going to be good. It looks like a very unique shoot-'em-up shooter on the PS2 here. With a nice refractive artwork. Siren, very unique survival horror game with not much action, really. It's more atmospheric, puzzle solving. There's some action in this. From what I remember. But yeah, very unique game. Let's see. Where do you usually watch your movies? In my living room, where I showed off my Blu-ray collection. That's where I watch most of my movies. Siren I've already showed. Sky Odyssey is a game that I've wanted to play for some time. This is an arcadey, kind of zen, serene, I've heard, mission-based flight simulator. A little more arcadey. I like the more arcadey kind of flight games. This looks nice. It looks kind of beautiful, to be honest, and kind of relaxing. So I want to play that at some point. Until the early 2000s, I'm not sure Treasure is a thing anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure what Treasure's doing these days. I'm sure they've been absorbed by some other studio. Sadly, which is the way of things in our society. Sadly. When you say arcadey, what do you mean? Arcadey meaning less like a simulator, right? So this is somewhere in between arcade and simulation. Arcadey meaning fast-paced, points-based, maybe sometimes it'll be like, good job, or like, there are certain things that make it feel arcadey, lightness to the controllers as opposed to heaviness, with more like Gran Turismo type of games that have a weight to them. These are more accessible than simulators. Sly 1, 2, and 3. I've only played the first one, savoring the next two. And do I have Sly? I think I have the... No, I don't have the trilogy. Okay, I need that. But these are great games. The first one is a wonderful game made by Sucker Punch, who did Infamous and one of the best games of all time, Ghost of Tsushima. Smuggler's Run, really cool for the time. This came out before GTA 3, and it was kind of an open-world vehicular combat game, mission-based. Very cool for the time, being able to, like, drive over the dunes, and then there's this open world. It was very nice. Power Rangers would be arcadey. Yeah, sure. That's an interesting... Yeah. Maybe B-movie is analogous to arcadey when it comes to video games. B-movies are kind of arcadey. This is interesting, philosophically. I'd have to think about this. Soul Calibur 3, The Soul Still Burns. More like Fox Cooper, you know, Star Fox mixed Sly Cooper. There you go. I've heard good things about this SpongeBob game, despite not being the biggest fan of SpongeBob. I think this is like an open-world 3D platformer. Heard good things. Spy Hunter. I love this game. Super cool vehicular combat game in the spirit of the original with a, you know, early 2000s extreme kind of smooth and sleek Bond sheen to it. I'm not that into video games, so a lot of your terminology flies over my head. Oh, yeah. No problem. I'm more than willing to explain. But yeah, this game is awesome. SSX Tricky, I've already talked about. We've got Star Ocean. This is the second or third Star Ocean game. I want to say the third. No shots on the back, but I picked this up at a flea market for $1 one time. I grew up with this game because I used to love the old SpongeBob. Yeah, I've heard really good things about this. Did you like this game, Battle for Bikini Bottom? Star Wars Bounty Hunter, I showed off one of the newer editions. This game came out shortly after GTA 3 with the same engine, and the claim to fame for this was all these people on screen and the fact that you could just kind of riot. It was a riotous game. You just did riots. You beat up gangs, you stole shit, you beat up civilians. It was crazy for the time. Not sure how it holds up. I think this got a sequel. Look at that. Warning, check ID. Street Fighter EX3, everybody shits on this game, but at the time I thought a 3D, you know, Tekken-style Street Fighter game was pretty neat. I still think it holds up pretty well. It's a good game. What is your relationship to CGI in movies? Do you recall what the first proper CGI film you saw was, and if you liked it? Probably Langoliers, which I've talked about, which used CGI, which was really uncanny for the time and freaked me out. Lawnmower Man was definitely one of the early ones, but again, the CG had this surreal, uncanny valley kind of feel to it, which added to the mystique. And now we try to go for realism with CG, and it seems like we've hit a brick wall in terms of getting it looking better. I wish it was more stylized. I'm not sure why we have to go down this route where all CG companies produce the same product. It's great to listen to you while drinking coffee. I need a sip myself. My partner loves the SpongeBob game too. Not my thing, really. Yeah, no, I hear you. I just got it because I hear it's a good game, open world. I'm not anti-CG, no. I just think we've kind of bottlenecked CG into, like, looking like all the same thing. I wish we lived in a society where there were, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different CG companies, and each one had its own unique style. Can you differentiate between Pixar and Walt Disney animated pictures at this point? Because I can't. They all look alike. DreamWorks, they all look alike. There's not much style. There's some. Don't get me wrong. There's some out there. Like Into the Spider-Verse or Meet the Mitchells I thought was unique. When I was a kid, we didn't have CGI kids shows until later. Yeah, I remember, like, Reboot was the first CGI kids show I saw, and it was totally unique. It felt like you were actually going into the internet or into a computer. Some of it we have. Yeah, no, I hear you. So let's continue. Where was I? Whoop. We've got The Suffering 1 and 2. 2 I haven't played. Suffering 1 is a great survival horror game that leans on the action, where you could become this bestial creature and destroy things. Really unique enemy design, kind of Silent Hill-esque, but over the top in a B-movie action kind of way. Or should I say arcadey. Summoner. This is a game I haven't played, but I've always been intrigued by the artwork. This is an early, I want to say this may have been a launch title on the PS2. I just love those early PS2 pre-rendered graphics. I'm a big fan of pre-rendered. Pre-rendered, meaning they render the graphics beforehand, digitized, hand-drawn kind of thing, and then the character moves throughout that pre-rendered background. I love that stuff. Doesn't really have an equivalent. Maybe the equivalent for cinema would be matte paintings, like hand-drawn matte paintings, which are used as backdrops. Think of a film like Dick Tracy. So yeah, bridging the gap between movies and love to reboot. Yeah, reboot's super fun, isn't it? I'm not sure how it holds up these days. Remember Beast Wars with that CG? Yeah, it's good stuff. Super Bust a Move 4. Super Bust a Move. This is a game my mom and I used to play all the time. Puzzle Bobble, also known as, and yeah, very simple but fun and addictive puzzle game. What was the first video game to blow your mind with its graphics? I'd have to say that the step from 2D into 3D was it. And the game that did it was Super Mario 64. I mean, you had to be there to understand it. It's one of those things. I'm not trying to sound elitist or anything. I'm just older. And sitting in front of the TV watching that, and then having my dad call all of his friends to show them how amazing it was, and all those adults going, "Oh my God," while, like, you know, my 8-year-old self was playing. I mean, it's just something else, man. God, had to be there. Dreamcast Sonic Adventure also did the same thing to me. I was like, oh my God. Horizon Zero Dawn also did that. So there's games each generation. Red Dead Redemption, my God. But he did have 2D TV shows. Yep, especially in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah, 2D hand-drawn animation. All right, so let's see. Siphon Filter. I've never played the PS2 version. This is the fourth one, I want to say. Looks fun. We've talked about Tekken and Tekken 4 and Tekken Tag. I've only played Tekken Tag. I've never played Tekken 4. I like Tekken 1 through 3, though, and this one is a blast. Especially with people. Tenchu, Wrath of Heaven. This is a very difficult ninja game that I haven't really gotten into. I played back in the day, but was not very good at it. Here you go. Here's a movie-based game that is actually very good. Produced by Konami, or put out by Konami. Developed by these guys. And has a hit song by Saliva. This was supervised, at least, by John Carpenter. He kind of okayed it. It has great atmosphere, great music. A little overlong, and I wish the game was a little shorter because it does get a little repetitive. Some really cool mechanics where, you know, the guys you're working with might be the thing, and you have to kind of monitor their heart rate. If their heart rate's high, that might mean that they're either scared or they are actually the thing. It was pretty unique. Time Crisis 2. This is a great Guncom arcade game here. Port of the arcade game. Old school Konami logo. Oh yeah. I love Konami. Time Splitters, really unique, fast-paced, first-person shooter for the time where you have different time periods, you fight your way through a level, a very well-designed, corridor-based first-person shooter, very, you know, confined to a distinct level design, where they just did a really good job with this game. You get to the end, and then you turn around, and you get back to the beginning, but things change once you turn around. Enemies get harder, that kind of thing. Tony Hawk games, really excited to get into those. True Crime, this was a GTA knockoff at the time, but I thought it was really cool. Played as this, like, this dude right here, and you just jumped around, Max Payne style, shooting shit up. This was really cool for the time, where you could shoot people from your car. Let's see, I grew up in a poorer family, and so me and my friends used to go to my richer friend who had access to all these cool new films, and that's how I discovered a lot of movies. Yeah, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. In fact, my mother was the only one that worked. It's a whole nother story, but my father knew a lot of people, and he curried favors from a lot of people, and may have been involved in some not-so-savory activities. So, we didn't grow up with much money either, but I was lucky that my father was an obsessive collector of this stuff. My mother was never really happy about that. That's a whole nother very personal story. Twisted Metal Black is awesome. Really dark. This is really the culmination of Twisted Metal. Look at how crazy this game is. I still want to sit down and play through this with a friend. It's really fun, or my brother. Virtua Fighter 4, great arena fighter by Sega, of course. War of the Monsters. This is another kaiju-inspired beat-em-up kind of one-on-one fighter. Very fun, inspired by the B movies we all know and love. Whiplash, way too long of a game. Yeah, my father's certainly to blame for my addictive personality in life, as well as all this stuff. But hey, he wasn't a perfect dude, but we had some good memories together. That's all I'll say. Whiplash, really fun game. I thought was a little too long. I didn't get through it because I thought it was too long. Really quirky sense of humor. You're this lab animal who's trying to escape from this lab, and meanwhile you're freeing all your friends from being tortured and experimented on, which certainly appeals to me as somebody who has a bit of an animal rights activist in him. What did your dad do? Much love. No need to answer. My dad was a musician. He was a gig worker, so he used to work. He was a very talented musician. Type in Earl Valentine music on YouTube. You can hear some of his music. And he did some low-level petty crime. I mean, nothing violent, I'll say. It was, I don't know if I should be getting into this, if I'm being completely honest. But he never worked a real job in his life, so he was that kind of guy. I'm the only person who loves my mom, but not selfish people. Absolutely, yes. My father definitely falls into that category. Imperfect person, but hey. Luckily, my mom made up for it. She was a fantastic person. She still is. She's still around. I love her to death. I learned a lot from both of them. I learned a lot of what not to do for my dad, and I learned a lot of what to do for my mom. So we've got X-Files here. This is the game that more so interests me. This is a Resident Evil style survival horror action game. So based on the X-Files. It's so cool, isn't it? I can't wait to play that. My dad's favorite movie? That's a good question. He loved Army of Darkness, that's for sure. He loved the action movies that I still love. Cliffhanger, Speed, Die Hard, he loved. A lot of my taste comes from my father. He showed me all the movies my mom didn't want him to show me. Yeah, he was a good friend, not a great father. Again, very personal, and I'll go. Maybe I'm willing to talk about it, but it's just one of those things that, he had a great taste in film. Yes, he did, but he also had, he also loved B action movies. He loved all the types of films that I love. Here's Yakuza. X-Files. The show is fantastic, isn't it? My dad's favorite cartoon, Ren and Stimpy. He's the one who put me on to Ren and Stimpy, again, to the chagrin of my mother. He was a good friend to me, but again, not a great father. I didn't really learn anything about life from him. Yakuza. This is an open world Yakuza game, not unlike GTA 3, a very Japanese-style open world game that's still going strong today. Like a Dragon and all those are still cut from the same series. Zone of Enders, this was my first mecha game back in the day, and it blew my mind. Arcade-style action, not very much simulation in terms of mecha, which they both have their place. This is a fun game, but, I bought it because it had the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo. Yes, back in the day, you would buy a game because you wanted to play the demo. And they also gave you an incredibly cool game. But we played the demo of Metal Gear Solid 2, me and my buddy Dom, over and over and over and over and over again. Smoking cigarettes, putting people in lockers. What a game. And Zone of Enders 2, one I haven't played, but I hear is even better than the first one. Alright, let's take a breather here. Let's take a bit of a breather. Take some questions if you guys have any other questions. I mean, I've been taking them anyway, but... Losing my hair, guys. My hair's thinning out. I'm getting old. Most recently, I've played demo games on the Switch. Oh, yeah, they still do demos. There's still demos out there. They're just not as prominent or meaningful as they used to be, I suppose. Now, companies just expect you to buy their game blindly, and people do. Planning on making more tier list videos like the Christmas one? Hell yeah, that would be fun, if you guys like that kind of thing. That one didn't do very well, but maybe it's because of the topic. I love those tier ranking things. I'm obsessed with that. I do that on my own time, so I already have lists ready to go that I could just transfer over. Movies like Bloodsport. Yeah, I could do like a Van Damme tier ranking. That'd be cool. I'd love to do that. God, I need to pee again. Sorry, guys. I have gut issues that make me pee a lot. I didn't think blindy, to be honest. Sorry, I'm not sure what that means, Jolly Good. You look great. Oh, thank you, Byron. I appreciate that. Not too bad for 38, I suppose. But yeah, I do miss my thicker hair. It is thinning out. That's okay. Thank you, I appreciate that. Video game demo. Oh, I got you. Jolly Good. Okay. I'm going to take this time to annoy you guys and say, feel free to give this a thumbs up. We got 5 people in here. Let's see a few thumbs up. That would be awesome. It helps me with exposure, and honestly, I've gotten 30 subscribers in the last 28 days, which is far more than I had been getting. So people are seeing these live streams, and it's because people are thumbsing them up, engaging with the live stream, despite not many people being in here. But please, yeah, feel free to hit that thumbs up. I also do super chats. Any donations go into the channel. Thank you so much for everybody that supports me, and these are just little things you could do to help the channel grow. Your superhero trait would be being able to pee under any... Dude, I can fucking pee at any moment. It's really sad. But something I've gotten used to is what it is. I know how to mitigate it. I know how to deal with it. Drinking coffee doesn't help. And drinking as much water as I do doesn't help. But, probably won't drink this whole thing. All right. Let's get back to it. Actually, you know what? I am going to pee again. Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Tommy! How's it going, bud?
Going great, bud.
Good to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
You having a good morning?
Okay.
It's not the morning, huh?
Yeah, that's why I didn't answer.
Okay. Well, it's good talking. You having a good day?
Who, me?
Dude, I've been doing an hour and a half on my live stream, and I've only talked about 3 shelves.
What?
3 shelves of games. I have something to say about every single one. All right, folks. We're back here. We're back. That poor Australian accent. Sorry, folks, if you're from Australia. I could do a good one, but that one wasn't. All right, one of the newer editions, I got a disc-only copy of Garden Warfare, Plants vs. Zombies. I like tower defense games, a good tower defense game. They're fun and addictive. And this one is like mixed with Call of Duty. I don't know, but it was $1. Asura's Wrath. This is a cool game on the PS3 that is pretty hard to find at this point. Very crazy, over-the-top anime. A bunch of different play styles. Capcom game. Super cool. And I hear my buddy Billy tells me that this has the true ending, whatever that means. Rocco is from Australia too. Yes, he is. Rocco's Modern Life. Rocco's Modern Life. That was a hoot. Sorry. 3D Dot Game Heroes. This is a Zelda-style 3D pixel-based game by Atlas and From Software. Yes, the same From Software that does the Souls games. Very unique, very fun, very challenging. This will kick your ass, very customizable. You can get to the point where your sword just takes up the whole screen. It's ridiculous. It's awesome, though. Africa. So the American version of this is super expensive and hard to find. PS3 plays games from anywhere in the world. I don't know how much Japanese is required for this, but hey, we have translation options these days, and I'm learning Japanese, so one day I could maybe read it. This has always appealed to me. This is like a game where you're just on a safari, open world, you go around taking pictures of animals. I don't know. I like it. It kind of reminds me of Pokemon Snap. Don't know if it plays like that, but one day we will try. And that is the, what's that? Katakana of Afurika. If I had 20 seconds with your 20-year-old self, what would you tell him? Start getting good at something right now. Like if you write or make movies more, and I did this stuff when I was a kid, but just not as much as I should have. I should have taken it more serious. But that's, you live and you learn, right? I was producing content at that time. I was making little comedy sketches. My music was going strong. I would just tell my younger self to keep going. You can make it. Like, just keep doing stuff that you care about. Because there were time in my 20s where I stopped. Oh, well, I should say I've never stopped being creative. I don't know. I would just say take it seriously. Take your creative endeavors seriously. More seriously than I did. Aliens, Colonial Marines, I still haven't opened. This is supposed to be an okay game, but I'm an Aliens fan and I want to give it a shot. Alone in the Dark, Inferno. This is an Alone in the Dark game. There was a PS2 and Xbox version, I think, but this is kind of an upgraded one. So I think that's the last Alone in the Dark game. Well, actually, there's been a couple since. Alpha Protocol, this is a Sega Obsidian game. Obsidian developed New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas. I hear very, very good things about Alpha Protocol. We have some of the Assassin's Creed games here, of which I have not been able to get into yet, but I hear that 3 and Brotherhood are some of the good ones. I'm blown away your channel isn't bigger because you have such a knowledge of movies and are very articulate. You're my favorite film YouTuber. Thank you. Cody Leach is good. Yeah, I've always liked Cody. And Sean Chandler. Chandler, I can't really get into, admittedly, but I think Cody Leach is very good. I appreciate the comment, or the compliment. Thank you very much. Back when Atari Company did later games, you know, the early yeah, that's right. Yeah, Atari is a shell of its former self now. Arkham Origins, an okay open world Batman game. This one was kind of rushed out. It kind of feels that way, but it is made by the same studio. What's their name? Pretty sure it was. Rocksteady is... Maybe it wasn't made by Rocksteady. Maybe that's why it feels different. I don't know. Battlefield, I've never played these Battlefield games. I really would like to. Sean has a bit of a more lowbrow vibe, but he's a big John Woo fan. Yeah, I totally get it. Hey man, I don't want to crap on anybody. All these people are talented, obviously. Just not my style, I guess. We have this one here. Oh my god, damn it, motherfuck. All right, Best of PlayStation Network. This has When Vikings Attack, Sound Shapes, Tokyo Jungle, which I have played. You play as like these just inconspicuous animals, like a little Shih Tzu here, and you level up and work your way through this post-apocalyptic Tokyo landscape, and you just work your way up the food chain. It's a weird game, but really fun and addictive. Fat Princess, I've heard good things about. These are all like early PlayStation Network exclusives, and they're all on the disc, which is nice. Brutal Legend is a very cool 3D action platformer kind of game. There's Ozzy Osbourne, literally. And yeah, very fun game. If you're a metal fan, this'll definitely please you. Let's see. What is the weirdest game in your collection? Incredible Crisis. I showed you. Look up some videos of this game, Incredible Crisis. It's nuts. Japanese. The Japanese do weird better than anybody. Maybe it's otherworldly and weird to Westerners, more so because it's just a different culture. Maybe it's not as weird in Japan as it seems here. But I like weird. I've always liked weird. I'm weird. So, we've got Bulletstorm, a crazy over-the-top arcadey first-person shooter where you could, like... weirdest Japanese film I've seen? Oh my god. Tetsuo comes to mind. But I think it's so amazing. It's weird, but it's allegorical and meaningful. Bulletstorm. You basically like use your leash to throw dudes into the sky, and then you blow their limbs apart. And the cooler your kills, the higher your points. And it is over-the-top, fun, great first-person shooter. Tetsuo is up there, yeah. For sure. Call of Juarez. This is one of the sequels for this in the series there, which is supposed to be pretty good. I think it's a cool series. Miike has some weird ones too. Yeah, definitely. Weird in a transgressive kind of way. I'm not a huge Miike fan. I appreciate his work, but Red Dead Redemption, not the first one, but I have played the second one. Yeah, Christmas lights. I don't know. I'm a child. My generation, we're all kids. We never actually grew up. So I like Christmas lights. They lighten up the mood. Castlevania 1 and Lords of Shadow 1 and 2. I've One thing that I do, guys, I put my horror games in the greatest hits red cases because I repurpose the red cases, essentially, is what I'm saying. This is just something I do. I got it from a YouTuber named Radical Reggie. I thought it was a good idea. Stories of any game. Oh, yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my favorite stories. I agree. It's just such an incredible experience. It's so immersive. Chronicles of Riddick. This is cool. This has Escape from Butcher Bay, the first Chronicles of Riddick first-person shooter, and the sequel Dark Athena, which I haven't played. But I love that this has an updated copy of the original game all on the same disc. So I have played the first one. Escape from Butcher Bay is awesome. One of the best things in the Riddick universe, I would say. I love the Riddick universe in a B-movie kind of way. I think a lot of them are super fun, especially Chronicles of Riddick and Pitch Black. Excuse me, Pitch Black is amazing. We have Condemned 2. I have the first Condemned on the 360. And yeah, these are great first-person horror games. Very unique, very creepy, a lot of jump scares. Relies on atmosphere and sound design and jump scares to kind of really put you on edge. But very unique first-person games that, again, of the likes we don't get too many of. Crysis 2 and 3, I've heard great things about this series. It's more of a PC series, but I would like to try them on the PS3 at some point. Here we have the Devil May Cry collection, which is how I played 1 through 3 recently. Just slightly upgraded HD versions of the games. They run perfectly. Far Cry compilation 2, 3, and Blood Dragon. I really have this because Blood Dragon is on the disc. That was a downloadable game only for a long time, and I learned that they had this one, which has it on the disc. It's like an 80s style, kind of looks like Michael Biehn there, mixed with the Terminator. That kind of looks like Brigitte Nielsen from Cobra, that kind of thing. Whoa. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. That is amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh, man. Oh, you guys are awesome. I'm too sappy for this shit. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. A lot. I have goosebumps. Look, my hair is standing up on its end. Can't really see it, but thank you. That means a lot to me. Not to get emotional, but thank you. Lair. This is a really interesting looking dragon game. I mean, all you have to say is this is a dragon game and I'll be interested. I hear the problem with this. My buddy Billy tells me that the problem with this is you have to use the controller kind of like as gyro to control your dragons, and there's no other option to not do that. This is a box and manual only version of Prototype. I got the box for free from Goodwill. Unfortunately, this is a game I want to play. Open world sci-fi action game. Stranglehold, I played this recently. Here you go, my John Woo fans. I love this version because it actually has a copy of the movie on it. But I looked at the copy after beating this game, and it was like a VHS rip of the movie. I was like, this is horrible. And it's on a Blu-ray. Like, why couldn't they have a Blu-ray version of it? Anyway, Stranglehold is an awesome Max Payne-like action game. If you love John Woo movies, you'll love the game. Make my workday's chores go by faster. Wish it was easier to send you stuff. Thank you so much. We're going to be in contact. I want to respond to the thing that we've talked about in the past that I just got so busy. I don't have any good excuses. It is what it is. But because I have a lot to say about what we talked about. Singularity. This is a game that actually I opened up to play. It was still sealed. I love this game. This game it used like time travel elements and like alternate future. You could manipulate items, time manipulate items to send them back in the past or into the future to make them fall apart or build back together. Life has been killing me too lately. I hear you. That's something that we definitely have in common. It's been hard out here for a pimp, when you're trying to make the money for the rent, and all the Cadillac and gas money spent. It has a whole lot of bitches jumping ship, and it is hard out here for a pimp. So. Next up, we have Dante's Inferno, which is a God of War-like game. This is the Divine Edition, which is preferable, probably. God of War-like game that is based on Dante Alighieri's, Inferno, 9 Circles of Hell type of thing. I've read the first book of the Inferno. I'm mixing up a Purgatoria. Incredible poetry. some of the best. And Dante, obviously, one of the most influential writers of all time. But this is a cool game. It also got an anime, which is directed, each circle is directed by a different anime director or Western director. Very interesting. Darksiders 2, I still need to play that series. Dark Sector, I remember playing this back in the day after I bought it from Blockbuster, pre-owned. And I thought this was a really cool game, like a glaive kind of thing. Dante film adaptations. I agree. Do you know that they're... Oh, man. Oh, it's so cool. I got to show you guys this. Walk with me. I want to show you... Bear with me. I know you can't see. Jesus. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Bear with me. There it is. All right. Don't know if I ever showed you guys this. This is Dante's Inferno. This is 1911. This is the first Italian film that we well, how do I say this? The earliest full-feature Italian film that we have access to. And I think that is so cool. And having read the original Purgatorio with the Gustave Le Bon, well, not Gustave Le Bon, I forget the guy's name who does the illustrations. It's incredible, and yeah, this looks just absolutely amazing and atmospheric and legitimately creepy. So this is the earliest Italian feature film that we have intact. I think that's fucking cool. Yep, there's one from the 1910s. There you go. Who you gotta called block? Can you reiterate that, Jolly Good? I'm not sure what you're asking there. That's the one I was talking about. Hell yeah. Yeah. There you go. So cool. Never seen it, but I've never seen it either, but I must. I'll have my big, beautiful book with me. Gorgeous illustrations. I'm blanking on the guy's name who did the illustrations, but he is famous. Awesome. I'm Italian too. Oh, very nice. Yeah, I got a little bit of Italian in me. My father was half Italian, so I'm a quarter Italian. I grew up around Italians. I have like a lot of people told me I have a northeastern Italian accent because I grew up around them. My father had one. I'm also mostly Irish, so there you go. Irish and a little bit of English, so UK. But yeah, Irish and Italian. Oh, you could speak Italian too. Come sta? I don't know much Italian, but I know some Spanish, and it's very close. I know some curses in Italian, like fanculo, vaffanculo, or puttana di merda. Bene. Absolutely. I know what that means. That means good. But yeah, my buddy Dom was very Italian, we'll say. His parents were off the boat, as they say, from Calabria. I grew up around Italians. I grew up around a diverse group of people, but very Italian kind of culture. But yeah, anyway. All right, we've got Dark Void, another early PS3 Capcom game here that involves like, mecha and jetpacks and stuff like that. Very cool. Dead Space 1 through 3, some of the best survival horror games of all time. And, one thing I'll tell you guys for my Italian friend there was, I grew up calling like mozzarella. I grew up calling it mozzarella. I still call it mozzarella. When I came to the South and they were like, yeah, mozzarella. And I was like, you mean mozzarella? You got the capicola, you got the supersad, you got the, for some reason, Italian Americans always drop the last vowel. So that always, stunad, that kind of stuff. We've got Demon Souls, the game that kicked it off for Atlas and made them a household name and created a genre, pretty much. So, brought back old school difficulty, and I'm so happy about that. Mozzarella, yeah, that would make a good movie. Yes, and I always don't say things correct, like open and close lights, yeah. Or like the Italians called, sauce, gravy, some real Italians. Confused. You mentioned Connecticut earlier, but now you're talking about the South. Did you move around as a kid? No. Spent 25 years in Stamford, Connecticut, in the same house, and then I moved here when I was 26. I'm now near Raleigh, North Carolina, so I'm in that area. So I've seen both cultures, and I've been down here for 13 years. So sandwich instead of sandwich, yeah. I could totally relate. Devil May Cry 4, I still haven't played. I would love to and will. Doom 3, I own this. Well, first of all, it's Doom 3 on the console, which I think is great. No problem, jolly good. And this also has ports of 1 and 2. So it's got 1, 2, and 3 all in one nice package, and I think that's awesome. Dragon Age 2. And yeah. And it was $3. Do I ever miss Connecticut? Yeah, I miss Connecticut, but I also, when I go back to Connecticut, I realize that I shouldn't. Because Connecticut, I don't know, people think a little more freely down here in the South. There's a little bit more libertarian-style freedom. Everybody thinks exactly the same in Connecticut. It's sickening. It's like everybody just seems like a shell of themselves. And, like, I don't know, everybody walks around like zombies. Community is much better down here. People are friendlier down here. Even if it's fake, people are friendlier down here. I do appreciate the bluntness and straightforwardness of up north, but I think it's valuable to. And yeah, so I've been down here for 13 years now. Crazy how time flies. But I do miss Connecticut. I miss the weather, the fully formed seasons. When it's winter, it's winter. When it's fall, it's fall. When it's summer. Down here, it's fall one day, winter the next, summer the next day. It's crazy. Actually, sometimes it's all in one day. You could get all the seasons. It's like a tropical forest down here. Like, it's humid during the day in the summer, and then it rains at night, and the humidity breaks, and it feels nice. I've been to California once. We got flown out for VidCon back in the day. And we actually went to VidCon, which was a big deal at the time in like 2012 or something like that. I don't even remember exactly when. But my original YouTube channel, which is called Mikey Pixels now. Check it out if you want to see a younger me doing crazy stuff. It's stuff. And it was a very successful YouTube channel. We made a living doing it for quite some time. We flew out to VidCon, and it was a great time. We also went to Universal, went on a bunch of the rides. It was fun. So, interesting. Have you been to the West? Moved to Pennsylvania when I was 19, and I do miss Long Island. There you go. I meet a lot of people from Long Island. Actually, the guy I work with, Billy, who we're forming a friendship, and he's from Long Island, so he moved down here years back too. Why is the avatar for Mikey's Pixel bald with a beard? Yes. So Mikey Pixels used to be called High Block TV, and we did this very stoner-like absurdist comedy, and I sold my half of the channel when I had to move away. I didn't want to move away, I had to, and I sold my half of the channel to one of my best friends Mike, who's still up north, and he doesn't really produce videos too much anymore, but he did it for as long as he could. He now has a family, kid, wife, and all that stuff. But still wants to be creative and still is sometimes. And it was a collaboration. Mike was my best friend growing up, one of my best friends growing up. We were still super close, So we decided, we both lost our job, and we decided to, and we're both Mike and Mike. We both lost our jobs at the time, and we decided to basically do a YouTube channel. We said, fuck it. Throw shit at the wind and see what happens. We got pretty popular. Some of our parodies, our music parodies for the time that we produced ourselves, got millions of views. He also was a special effects maestro, and he used to do these really convincing iPhone apps, like with a soda fountain app was our biggest one that got like 30 million views, some crazy. And it was just an iPhone spewing soda, and people believed it. Some people didn't. It created a lot of controversy. It was great. We made a lot of money. Yeah, 7.4 million views, yeah. Scratch what I said earlier. Holy cow, you were big as hell. We were making a living for about a year. It was really nice. We got in at a decent time, but then it was ruined by all these celebrities coming onto YouTube and having YouTube channels. We couldn't compete with that shit. There was so much talent out there. Not to say we weren't talented, but, we didn't take it as seriously as we could have, I suppose. Crap ton of money these days. Yeah, and we made good money on it, that's for sure. We had a fun time. Check out some of the parodies. They're super fun. You can hear me rapping and singing, and, I produced all the music. It was super fun. But that was a different time. That's for sure. Long time ago now. But I've been making skits and music since I was like 13 years old. Never really stopped. And YouTube was just the natural extension of that. In fact, when YouTube came out in like 06, 07, we were going to post some of the skits that we were doing because we didn't know where else to post them. And one of the guys we were doing the skits with was like, nah, let's not do it on YouTube. YouTube's not that good. And they were wrong. Was it tough for you to relinquish that channel? Yeah, of course. I did not want to move away from all of the things that I knew. It was one of the most traumatic experiences in my life. Moving out of my house. Essentially, we lost the house. I'll get a little personal here. We lost the house that I grew up in that was supposed to be passed down to the kids because my father got worse and worse with his addiction, and he ended up taking like 3 or 4 mortgages out of the home. All he had to do was pay the mortgage, and then he would be able to pass the house down to us. His mom and parents got the house for him back when houses were affordable. And my father blew it on drugs and alcohol. And one day, we were making a video. We were like editing late night. And a guy came to my door, a sheriff, and he said, "Hey, are you Earl Valentine?" I said, "No, I'm his son." My father at that point was in a stupor, which is at that time most of the days he was doing oxycodone and snorting heroin and doing like really bad stuff. And the sheriff comes to the door and he says, "Hey," he served us papers and said, "You have 12 hours to get out of this house, the house I grew up in." My father didn't share any of these details with me. He didn't tell me that the house. Listen, I was 25. Maybe I should have known better. 24, I should have known better. But he didn't tell me any of this stuff. He didn't. And I also lent him about $20,000 when I was 20 years. It was not a good situation, guys. And yeah, so the sheriff said, "You have 12 hours to get out of the house." And so I called all my friends from the neighborhood, and I told them, well, I'll get to that, my mom. And I told them, "Hey, come over. I don't know what's happening, but I have to be out of the house in 12 hours. It was the worst night of my life. I still have nightmares about it. It's very traumatic. One of the more traumatic things that's happened. And all my friends came over, and we all cried, and we were confused and confounded and bemused, and it sucked. And I remember the morning of, like, we had these movers moving all of our shit out of the house to liquidate, and the bank basically took the house back, and they were laughing at me, and I almost got into a fight because we almost just had a brawl because they were laughing at my misfortune, which was crazy. I'll never forget those fuckers. And so I called my mom, and I was like, "Hey, Mom, I don't have a place to live." And all this happened so quickly, literally 12 hours. I got my dog, I got in the car, and we went to my mom's house, and then 6 months later, her house was foreclosed, and we had to move out. And so we moved to North Carolina for a new start. That's the story of how I got here. If that happened in a film, I would have said the writing was rushed and unrealistic. Man, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Exactly. Isn't that funny? Because real life is more unbelievable than fiction sometimes. Past is in the past. Absolutely. It made me a stronger person. It taught me many, many life lessons. Taught my father life lessons. He became a born-again Christian, which has its problems, but he got off of the drugs in his later days, and I think what killed him was probably sugar. His heart blew up, and but that's the story of how I ended up in North Carolina. So, not a very uplifting story, but hey, a story that has made me who I am today. For better or for worse. Yeah, absolutely. We all do. We all have our stories. Some of us are more comfortable telling them to strangers and to people that I only know through the internet. You guys aren't strangers to me. You guys mean something to me, even though I never met you in real life. So, thank you, everybody, for hearing my sappy story. Let's get back to the games. Let's lighten up the mood here. Feel free to give the live stream a thumbs up, guys, if you're enjoying it. My life stories mixed with my collection stories here. And it's like those found footage movies where the camera is attached to them. I can simulate that. All good, guys. Thank you for the kind words. Like he said, it's in the past, and it's made me a stronger person. Thank you, Byron. I appreciate that. Let's get back, before I start weeping. No, let's get back. Just got carried away. Sorry, we took too... Yeah, no problem. Story is definitely American, though, for better and for worse. I have a lot of family friends who had similar situations due to the opioid epidemic. Yeah, no doubt about it. And this also, there was the financial crash, which definitely, the housing crisis, which didn't help things. Very American problems, and still dealing with those today. DuckTales, woo, everything, DuckTales. This was a remake, actually, a remaster of the original game. Very cool for the time, and kind of kicked off the old school style modern games. Duke Nukem Forever. This is a game I still haven't played. I've heard good things, a lot of bad things. I do want to give it a shot, though. I'm a big old school Duke fan. El Shaddai. This is an action adventure game that always reminded me of the style of Alter Echo. I'm not sure if they're made by the same people, but beautiful, hand-drawn, watercolored, very artistic, creative style here. Watch a couple of the old skits. Yeah, try Looney Tunes in real life. That was a really good one. A lot of them weren't that great, I can admit, but we were really experimenting and just doing whatever came to mind. And we weren't very good writers or anything at that time. We both had our skills. They're fun, and that's what matters. People still enjoy them, and it makes people smile. That's all that matters. I played it years ago, but didn't grew up watching DuckTales. Oh yeah, that's okay. It was a great show back in the day. Enchanted Arms, this one always interested me. This is a From Software turn-based RPG. I think it's a turn-based RPG. 125 controllable characters. Crazy. Yeah, after school, absolutely. DuckTales was an after-school thing for me, too, in the early 90s. Even though it came out in the late 80s, reruns, all that. And it ran for quite a few seasons. Enslaved Odyssey to the West. It's a Ninja Theory game. These guys are still making games to this day. I think they did... They did something recently. This is an Uncharted-inspired post-apocalyptic action-adventure story here. Platform elements. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Fallout 3. This game changed it changed everything when I played it. Might be back. If not, checking in soon. Sending much love, my friend. Thank you so much, Byron. You're very sweet. I appreciate it. I'd love to see some of your artwork at some point. That would be cool. You take it easy and keep doing it. Don't stop. Fallout 3, I got this for like 75% off when Blockbuster was going out there's the Blockbuster sticker. I got this in 2009. Isn't that wild? Played it, and it was the first Western RPG first person that I got into. I tried Oblivion before it, but couldn't really get into it. Fallout 3 was more my style with the incredible world building, post-apocalyptic Washington, D.C., great characters, great enemy design, and a beautiful, darkly patriotic atmosphere. I do it on my channel, but it's a hot mess of what I post. Much love. I'll check it out, Byron. Thank you so much. Man, that takes me back to 2009. Yeah, tell me about it. This is the Game of the Year edition that has all the DLC. I've only played the Mothership Zeta one and Point Lookout. Both were really cool, though. Mothership Zeta, you get on a crashed UFO, and you fight your way through all these aliens. You get alien weaponry. It's fun. Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition. I don't think this has a non-greatest hits, the Ultimate Edition here. But again, Fallout New Vegas by Obsidian. That has all the extra DLC and all the good stuff. Fear 2. Game that I haven't played in a long time, but I do remember enjoying the Fear 1 and Fear 2. I haven't played 3. I've heard this is a Devil May Cry style action-adventure game. Or fast-paced, beat-em-up kind of game with a really unique style. So I haven't played this, but this is one of the harder to find PS3 games now. More valuable. God of War collection here. We have God of War 1 and 2. This is how I played through the original God of War for the second time. And I loved it. It updated, nice high definition, beautiful. God of War 3 I've never played. Godfather 2, never played this one, but I like the first one, so this one looks like more of the same. GoldenEye Reloaded 007. This is a, so the Wii version was a remake, ground-up remake, reboot of the original GoldenEye, but it replaced Pierce Brosnan with Craig, that kind of era. And this was an even more prettied up, gussied up version of that Wii game. But I think the two are different enough for me to own both of them. So that's why I own both of them. Do you have a favorite GTA 4 GTA for messing around moments, helicopter fun, punch cops, cheat codes. Yeah, we used to do all that stuff back in the day. I don't have any necessarily specific stories about that, but 4 is one that I don't remember as well as the others, if I'm being completely honest with you. Remember Nico, the Eastern European kind of character there. Nico Bellic, yeah. I do want to replay 4 at some point. But I have more fond memories of the first 3 and how mind-blowing and groundbreaking they were. This I still want to play. This has The Ballad of Gay Tony and The Lost and Damned, 2 very different side campaigns in the GTA universe, just showing the diversity of the world. Heavenly Sword, beat-up copy, but I got it at a flea market. There's another Ninja Theory game here. Supposed to be very good, but again, you use the dual-axis kind of gyro controls for that one. Infamous, I finally played this for the first time pretty recently. I really enjoyed this. This was amazing. How the hell did you do the SODAP thing? My friend Mike was a special effects guru, and he made it work. Do they look more realistic than 2025 CGI? Yeah, that's why I'd go back to 21-year-old ourselves at 21 and say, hey, take this seriously. I know you're having fun, but take it seriously. Infamous 2. I haven't played, but I do look forward to playing. This is like an open-world superhero game where the more you play, the more the world becomes your playground, and it's really built for you. It feels great. Very powerful, you feel at the end of the game. Jak and Daxter Collection, remastered in HD, of course. Fantastic stuff. I haven't aged today. Thank you. I appreciate that. Drop this Mike's skincare routine. Yeah, skincare routine. I take showers and I use soap a couple times a week. Isn't that that's disgusting to some people? I wash my hair every day. But, yeah, I use soap like 2-3 times a week. I just think we overdo most things here in the West. It also helps conserve. Italian genes, I guess. Maybe. Hey, I'll take it. My father, when he died at 71, he looked like he was 50. He always looked good for his age. Very attractive gentleman, very handsome man, ladies man. Everybody loves to clean. Yeah, yeah. This is a 3-pack here with some of the game. The same developer made all these games. Flower, Journey, and Flow. All very artistic, artsy-fartsy games, if you will. But all very beautiful and very unique. My brother and I tried to play this co-op recently. We weren't too impressed by it. We just thought it was rather generic. Katamari Forever. This is another Katamari game for the PS3. Was that a pizza? I'm sorry. A pizza? Which one? What are you talking about? Killzone Trilogy here. This is really cool. Has all 3 Killzone games. Even remasters the first one. It's the only way to really get this remaster is on this collection. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I hear really good things about this game. And I remember the pitcher, Kurt Schilling, having something to do with this game, which at the time was very strange. Little Big Planet 1 and 2, the second row. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Jolly Good. Sorry. Little Big Planet 1 and 2, games I've never really gotten into, but are very fun platformers for what they are. Lord of the Rings War in the North. I've not heard many great things about this, but I believe this is couch co-op and looks fun. And I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. Lost Planet, I've only played the first one. The first one's very good. Capcom game, good old classic Capcom games that were supposed to be, the first one was supposed to be like a Mega Man game. Mega Man Legends game, if I'm not mistaken. Kid-friendly game, but never played Little Big Planet. Yes, kid-friendly, but it definitely appeals to adults as well, right? Heavily customizable. You can make your own levels, all that stuff. Mafia 2, again, this is the console version port of Mafia 2, which admittedly I've never played, and I look forward to doing so. This has the whole trilogy remastered for the PS4, which is beautiful. Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom. This game is pretty expensive now, I believe. Action, puzzle, platformer. Looks kind of like environmental puzzle kind of thing. Not to get too personal, but as an Irish Italian, did you grow up in Catholic school? Not Catholic school, but I grew up going to CCD, which was catechism something. But basically, we'd go to school, and then, my mom forced me to go to CCD, which is fine. We didn't really learn much. I didn't really learn much. Most of those classes were a joke. I remember the last one I ever went to, which was like 9th grade, 8th grade. the teacher was like a Satanist. He was wild. He used to get us to do like Bloody Mary and all these. It was fucking weird. I don't know how he got that gig, but he was not a Catholic and did not exude Catholic morals in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, I grew up Irish Catholic, but my mother was a more liberal Irish Catholic, way more liberal than the rest of her family, who were staunch. You know, my mother's, open to gay marriage, things like that. A lot of things that Catholics are not down for. And so I did get some good morals from that. But my mother was she thought for herself, and that she was an outcast for that from her family. Blame me like teachers are the worst. They sure are. Do you have any interest in theology? Given you read a lot. Of course, yeah. No, I read a lot of religious studies. I read comparative religion books. In fact, I just finished one called The History of Religious Ideas by Mircea Eliade. Wonderful, wonderful book. I'm very interested in how religions intersect, how they all seem to borrow from each other, all have similar emergent ideas, and I think all that. As an agnostic person who can make an argument for the creation side of things and the nothing from something from nothing, I'm very interested in theological discussion, the prime mover argument, philosophical stuff, all that stuff. But I've always been interested in religion. I lost my faith when I was like 15. I was an atheist for a long time, very annoying one. Now I'm an agnostic, and I think religion plays a very important part of the human story. It's also the cause of a lot of terrible things in the world, of course, but I do think these ideas have a structure that that does help people live a moral life, and I think you still have to think for yourself within that framework, though. That's the problem that most people have. I'm fascinated watching Chinese films, which seem to take a more agnostic worldview. Yeah, for sure. Well, Buddhism is more secular than most religions, right? So there's a lot to learn from all different religions, and they all tell very similar stories, which tells me that either religion is an effort to get to some sort of spiritual truth, which science, I believe, could explain at the end of the day. I always view science and religion like an onion. Like it starts together. Science, religion, philosophy start together. They branch out. And I think they'll come back together and form that onion shape at some point. I think science could probably prove the existence of a creator. So I think that's exciting and cool. Will we ever get there? Probably not. We'll destroy ourselves first. But I think it's possible. And I think science has gotten a bad rap over the last 10 years because of a lot of bad scientists. A lot of bad doctors. Anywho. Philosophical Mike. It's hard to make new friends in adult. Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's very hard. It's very hard to make friends as an adult. That's why we do YouTube, right? Metal Gear Solid HD Collection 2, 3, and Peace Walker. I love that you can play Peace Walker not on the PSP, on the PS3. That's a very nice. This also has the first Metal Gear and second Metal Gear, which is amazing, that Kojima developed for the MSX computer back in the day. Straight Catholic. Remember them taking my bro and I as kids? Yeah, we went to church as kids, for sure. Yep, we went to church, and it sucked. I hated it. But I do have nostalgic and fond memories of some of the stories from the Bible and the Stations of the Cross and things like that mean something on a mythological level, at least. What's his name? Snake. Yeah, Solid Snake, which sounds like hard dick. Metal Gear Solid 4, a great Metal Gear Solid game that does lean a little too heavily for my taste on storytelling and CG, whereas the other games I felt like had a better balance. Metal Gear Solid Rising, this is a Platinum Games, Konami kind of team up, where this plays more like fast-paced Bayonetta than it does like the slow and steady Metal Gear games. We've got Mirror's Edge, a first-person action platformer, awesome game. Nier, this has spawned into a wonderful little series of games that seem to get better and better. High fantasy meets science fiction. Got a couple Ninja Gaiden games. Ninja Gaiden Sigma, I believe this is a remake of the first game, or the rebooted first 3D game. Ninja Gaiden 3, which is awesome. All these games are really awesome and very challenging. Portal 2. Ingmar Bergman grappled with existentialism and God's silence a lot, absolutely. And I'm a big fan of Camus, Sartre, and a lot of the existentialist what I call positive nihilist thinkers of the time, where the idea is like life is what you make it. Life is meaningless, yes, but you can find meaning in anything. I think there's some truth to that and some power in that. Myth of Sisyphus is a very powerful book that a lot of people vehemently disagree with, but changed my perspective on a lot of things. Camus is an incredible writer. If you guys want to read some good novels, check out The Plague or The Rebel, or I'm sorry, The Plague, The Stranger, L'Étranger. Really good stuff. Prince of Persia. This is like an open world Prince of Persia game with a cell shaded style. This one's getting up there in price. Puppeteer. This is a wonderful Little Big Planet inspired first party title here by Sony. That it's like a stage play, and each screen changes depending on what's going on like on this theater type backdrop. It's very convincing, very cool, very difficult, tight platforming game, very unique and quirky. Never really played anything quite like it, except for Dynamite Headdy. Do I have a favorite film from a thematic standpoint? Not sure. Can you be a little bit more precise in what you're asking? Like, from a thematic, do you mean theologic standpoint, or just like the theme? Never feed Muppets to real cookies. We have Rage here, which is, oh man, this is amazing Doom style id first person shooter here, fast paced, awesome game. I believe civilization will not get to type 1 in Kardashev scale, which we as a species are expected to hit in next couple hundred years, but yeah, you're talking about the type 1, type 2, type 3 civilizations. There's the great filter idea where civilizations destroy themselves before getting past that great filter, and I think that is something that plagues us as we are a tragic creature, I do believe. And which is I think where religion comes from, why I think religion are a set of stories we tell ourselves to justify the madness of this world. The absurdity, the insanity, the the wonder of it all. Film you specifically love for its themes, as in you resonate with the story message a lot, more so than anything else. I would have to think about that. Sorry, that's a heavy question. But yeah, very interesting stuff, guys. Rayman Origins here. This is a very cool Rayman game, kind of a reboot of the series in a lot of ways, and Ubisoft knocks this one out of the park with great cartoonish 2D hand-drawn side-scrolling animation. It's phenomenal. Red Dead Redemption, this has Game of the Year. This is the Game of the Year, has Undead Nightmare. Very cool, I've yet to play it. Red Faction Guerrilla, this is the one where you play like as this group of communists that are trying to overthrow the government in this dystopian future on Mars. It's very cool. Red Faction Armageddon, haven't played. Remember Me, still sealed. I've heard really good things about this sort of action-adventure story-based game. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon. This was an online game, if I remember correctly. It also has a single-player mode I'd like to try. Resident Evil 5. A good Resident Evil game. A little more action-heavy than people prefer, but I still think it's a fun action game. Rayman has legs and arms are visible. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're still separated. We have Resistance Fall of Man 1, 2, and 3. This is I've only played the first one. Really cool sci-fi action series here. Second party. One of my favorite book quotes. I would say my favorite book of all time is 1984, God Almighty. If you want to understand what's going on today, read that book. I have 100,000 notes in that book. Every time I read it, I'm writing more notes. It's like, the radio that plays propaganda all day long and the people have to keep it on. Well, North Korea's been doing that same thing for quite some time, where you have to have the radio on spewing propaganda. I think on Sundays, I'm not sure if these laws have changed, but on Sundays, you could lower the volume, but you can't turn it off because you need to hear what the great, omniscient, dear leader has to say. Not a fan of dictators. I study dictators. Not a fan of those childish man babies for the most part. And I don't believe in the benevolent dictator theory. I think some dictators are better than others, but no live organism can continue for long to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality. Even larks and katydids are supposed by some to dream. Absolutely, I think that's exactly where religion comes into play. From the Haunting of Hill House. Wow, that's really good. That's Shirley Jackson, right? Nice amiibos. Thank you. Oh, this guy makes an appearance in all my videos. The Saboteur. This is a really cool open world game. Takes place during the Nazi occupation of France, and you play as resistance fighters, bombing Nazis and trying to clean up the streets and take back Paris. It's such a cool game based on history. Saints Row. I haven't really played those games much. Shadows of the Damned, an insane game by Suda51 and Guillermo del Toro. Very over-the-top Mexican culture and lore. Very cool. Silent Hill Collection, HD Collection. I still have this sealed. This has 2 and 3. Still very affordable. I hear that the ports aren't perfect, though. Hill House. Not sane. Stood by itself against its hills, holding darkness within. It had stood so for 80 years and might stand for 80 more. Within walls continued upright, bricks met neatly, floors were firm, doors were sensibly shut, silence lay steadily against the wood and stone of Hill House, and whatever walks there walks alone. There's the full quote. Had to send in 3 parts. Yeah, it's great. I've read most of that book. I think I stopped for whatever reason. Guys, I'm going to pee, and then we might be wrapping it up for today. It's getting a little long, and it is my day off. Be right back, folks. Alrighty. A little more coffee. I drink it so slow. Alright, any comments that I missed? Nope. Very good. I just want to thank you guys for watching this live stream. I'm going to do one more row. Fuck it. Why not? Let's do one more row. And then we'll continue another day. Dude, you have no idea. You have no idea. Thank you. I appreciate that. We've got Silent Hill, Homecoming, and Downpour. This is one of the more action-oriented Silent Hills and one of the more affordable. And this one is up there in price and is the last Silent Hill game before the remake of 2 came out. Stick of Truth. If you guys enjoy South Park, this is a hilarious South Park game made by Obsidian. Developed by Obsidian, who developed Fallout New Vegas and Alpha Protocol, games like that, and are still developing games. I think they just did Disavowed, or Avowed, or whatever that game is called. This game is hilarious, great combat, turn-based combat. It feels like a South Park movie. Spec Ops: The Line, I played this back in the day. Crazy good story. A story so good, it has no business in a video game. This is a really, really interesting game. Psychological, it delves into the psychological effects of war, PTSD, hallucinatory. It's just so unique. And a damn good shooter. I've only played Snow Day on the Switch. Not bad. Yeah, I've heard about that one. It's not quite like Stick of Truth or Fractured Butthole, but... Splatterhouse. This was the 3D beat-em-up version of the original Splatterhouse games. I think, yeah, unlock all 3 original Splatterhouse games. That's amazing. Wow, Season 1. Jeez, I never played Fortnite. In fact, I haven't played an online game since Call of Duty 3. That's right, kids. That's right, kids. Call of Duty 3. Splatterhouse is one of the more expensive games on the PS3. It's getting up there. Syndicate. This is a 3D reboot of the old Syndicate real-time strategy games. Still haven't played this, but it looks super sleek, cyberpunk, awesome. corporate espionage, William Gibson type of stuff. We have Ghost Recon 2, Advanced Warfighter. Or is it Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2? Yeah, Advanced Warfighter 2. Haven't really got into the Ghost Recon games, but my buddy Billy swears by them, and I do want to give Ghost Recon a shot. Tomb Raider Trilogy. We got Legend, Anniversary, Underworld. These are all games I haven't played. I think Anniversary is a remake of the first game. I've beaten the first game. I'm a fan of old school Tomb Raider controls. I just think it plays very uniquely. Tron Evolution. This is supposed to be a pretty good Tron game, guys. An action game. Prequel to Tron Legacy. So there you go. And when did this come out? Wow. Tron Legacy. Jeez. It's a long time ago now. Did I ever get into Smash? Yeah. No, I love Smash Brothers. My brother actually got into Melee pretty heavily. I guess you could say he was like a semi-pro or something like that. He's also an elitist for it. And a little bitch. You see him right there? You see that little guy? Little Tom?
Whoa.
Look at him.
Hey guys.
Look at that shot. That's some Twilight Zone shit right there. Let's go. Twisted Metal. This is the reboot that I've yet to play, actually. Unreal Tournament, games I played a ton back in the day. Is my brother into film? He's into film on a normal level. Yeah, he likes movies. He likes TV shows. He likes games. But on a normal level when compared to me. Melee was my favorite as a kid. Yeah, Melee is a great one. I prefer the ones with more characters, more stages, more unlockables. I get why people like Melee. Trust me, I've heard everything about it. They said, "What's up, Lil Tom?" Hey, everyone. Meaning, hey, Westex. Valkyria Chronicles, the first one. These are really cool. Turn-based, but also somewhat action-oriented strategy games. Give you ground-level view of things. Very cool. Definitely delves into the philosophy of war, which I'm interested in. I'm reading a book right now called The Origins of War by, I forget his name. Can you do your best impression of my brother? I don't know how to do an impression of my brother. Everybody says we're basically the same person at this point. I don't know. I can't do it. I don't even know where. Virtua Fighter 5. Wolfenstein. This was a reboot of Wolfenstein before the other reboot of Wolfenstein. XCOM Enemy of Unknown, a very fun turn-based strategy game with permadeath. This is how I played the first Bayonetta. Incredible game, one of my favorites of all time, I would say. And this also has Vanquish, gussied up in nice HD. Heavy Rain, actually, I only have Heavy Rain. I thought it was still worth it for the buck or two I picked this up for. It's an HD remake of Heavy Rain, a really fun game to play with people. Really surreal and weird. Bayonetta was busted in Smash 4. Interesting. Chromia. This is a game I picked up years ago because it was like $2 shipped on eBay. Picked this up many years ago. Very interesting looking game. It's trippy, psychedelic. I like these types of games. Shmup gameplay, they say. We have Ace Combat 7. So I have Ace Combat 1. I think I have 2 on the PS1 and 7. I'd like to get into the series a little bit more. Agelos. This is an old school style modern game. Obviously very old school style, level based. Kind of like Wonder Boy. Kind of like your standard typical kind of side-scrolling action game. Really fun though. I played this for hours one night and got into it. Haven't beaten it though. Did I start collecting all these since moving to North Carolina, or did you bring your collection? I brought my collection with me. I was born into a lot of movies because of my father, like I said. But I will say when I moved down here, it became an unhealthy habit. I was collecting way too much, buying anything. Then I turned it into a business, more lucrative, and now I have everything very refined. I'm making 90% of what I pick up goes to eBay, if not more. And I made a little business out of it, and I still was able to build a collection that I'm really proud of. But moving down here, since I didn't have any friends or anything, yeah, I got pretty addicted to collecting, and it got a little out of hand. Some would say it's still out of hand, but I've gotten it under control to an extent. Agony. This is a weird-looking game that takes place in hell, first-person adventure kind of game that I hear really bad things about, but it was cheap, and I was like, takes place in hell, cool cover, let's give it a shot. I pick up things at thrift shops and Goodwills and flea markets, yard sales for cheap, and I sell them on eBay. I've pretty much been able to have the movie market to myself because nobody buys movies around here, or up north for that matter, thinking that they could flip them. But man, I pick up movies all the time for $1 that are worth $30, $40. That's a quick, easy flip. I'm just so good at it. I've been doing this collecting at thrift shops for like 20 years, so I've just repetition creates habit, and I'm just so good at it. I could look at a movie and be like, yep, that's a $15 profit. So I've turned it into a lucrative side business. Alien Isolation, an awesome alien game that leans on survival horror as opposed to the action. Very atmospheric, so tense, and will clench your booty hole beyond belief. Have you ever made a video explaining the process? I think I did. I think it's called How I Collect Physical Media. Pretty much all of my physical media was funded by me starting that business and gradually turning the business into more of a profit-based business. Been watching some of the vlogs. Yeah, check it out later. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Alien Nation, I'm a big fan of the company, I think from Sweden, or it's definitely Scandinavia, called Alien Nation. This is by Housemarque. Very cool multiplayer games, arcade style, very much influenced by old arcade games, kind of redone for the modern era. This one's kind of like Robotron, but super high tech. Gifted the Blair Witch Japanese version to Switch. My oldest daughter came in a sweet box at booklet and CD. That's cool. I do have the Blair Witch game right there, and I've beaten it. It's very fun. And very creepy. I gotta recommend the YouTube channel previously known as Films at Home. Great for collecting enthusiasts and does interviews with boutique label workers. That's cool. That sounds like something I'd enjoy. Bastion's a wonderful isometric hand-drawn game that has seemingly infinite amount of lines of dialogue depending on your actions. Kind of open-ended in a lot of ways, and very cool. Supergiant Games makes really great stuff. Still does. Arkham Collection. This has it has Batman, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, 2 gussied up versions of the original Batman games, and HD style, and also has a downloadable version of Arkham Knight, which I don't have, which is no longer available. So I have it physically right here. I've played through all 3 of these. My favorite is City. I love Asylum, and Arkham Knight's pretty damn good too. Not as good, but Battlefield 4 I still need to play. Bendy and the Ink Machine. This is a Fleischer style, like 20s, 30s animation influenced first-person adventure horror game. Very unique, very strange. Influenced by early cartoons, especially early Disney. Kind of a morbid take on it. BioShock, some of my favorite games of all time, especially the first and third one. Favorite year of my adult life? Not really. I've never really thought about that. It's interesting. I prefer Cuphead. Yeah, Cuphead is more my style of game, that's for sure. But BioShock, I absolutely love. We have Blade Runner. This is cool. I showed you guys the big box version of Blade Runner at some point. And this was a PC game based on that PC game that I'm talking about. And this was redone, enhanced, added a bunch of features and stuff like that. And this is a really cool adventure game for the time that Blade Runner fans should surely check out. Definitely feels like the Blade Runner universe to me. And this is getting expensive. I'm going to keep this sealed until the day I'd like to play it on a console. We've got the Blair Witch game. I enjoy ranking years by how good the movies I've seen from that year were. Yeah, that's a good idea, and I definitely feel the same way. I always thought 1982 was the best year for cinema. That's something I want to talk about. Blair Witch, first-person psychological horror game. Really cool. Nice and short. Not much action, but a lot of trippy stuff going on in that game. And I like the lore that it expounds. 1982, yeah. That's an incredible year for cinema. Especially genre cinema. Blasphemous, deluxe edition here. A really great Metroidvania that takes place during the Inquisition. Kind of a lot of that sort of lore. And very, very Spanish, old Spanish Inquisition kind of architecture and style. It's very unique. Very, very dark. but very cool. Yeah, interesting. That's not a year I hear thrown out too often compared to 94 and 76. Interesting. Yeah, well, hey, I think for myself. Blazing Chrome. This is a great 2-player Contra-style action-adventure action game. Run and gun. Bloodborne, the first Souls-like game I played and absolutely blew me away with its Lovecraftian Gothic style and just an incredible game. Kind of open world. Will kick your ass until you figure out how to play. L.A. Noire, still haven't played that game. Bloodstained, this I got. This is a Japanese version, I think. Yeah. But this compiles both Curse of the Moon games, which is much cheaper to get this version, which will play on any PS4, than it is to get them separately. And I'm more of a Sony guy than a Switch guy, so. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I actually kickstarted the Switch one, and the Switch one came out and it was broken, so I got this one instead. This is a great Metroidvania by Koji Igarashi, who did Symphony of the Night and all of those anime-inspired sort of reboots of the Castlevania series. Blade Runner, The Thing, Rocky 3, Rambo, Tenebrae. Okay, you might be onto something. It goes further than that. It's incredible. Keep looking. Burnout Paradise Remastered, probably my favorite racing game ever. Open world, fast game. Always something to do. Great stuff. Catherine, a very Japanese puzzle game that got super big because of its great marketing. I hear it's okay. This is a remastered version. Code Vein, anime-inspired Souls-like game by Bandai. A different developer, not from software, but looks a lot like a Souls game, anime influence. Crash 4, It's About Time. This has a PS5 upgrade available for free. This looks like a return to form for Crash, and I do look forward to playing this one day. The Dark Pictures games, which my brothers and I really enjoy. These are fun to play with people and kind of pass the controller around. Kind of an interactive story sort of thing. They could be better, but they're not bad. Dark Souls 1 through 3, I've got the whole trilogy here. I've only played the first one. I hear the second one is brutally hard. Not as good as the others. Because, what's his name? Hidetaka Miyazaki. Did not have much to do with Dark Souls 2. Do I own a PS5? Hell yeah. Even though these games are basically just licenses now because the full game is usually not on the disc. That's a whole nother video. Daymare. This is a 90s style Resident Evil knockoff, lower budget. Looks super fun though and right up my alley. Right up my alley. Love Crash 4. So Crash 4, It's About Time. Yeah. Oh, good to hear. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, Crash 4 is pretty good, yeah. I have fun with it. Those loading times, though. We've got Knack 1 and 2. Great co-op. I believe both of these are co-op. Yeah, co-op, action, platforming, beat-em-up kind of games. Sony exclusives, first party. Really unique. Days Gone. Really great zombie game that creates a very interesting Midwestern kind of vibe. American Midwest, Crash the Cronenberg movie, yeah. That definitely does not have anything to do with Crash Bandicoot. This one I played recently about halfway, and I kind of lost interest for whatever reason, but it's very fun. You have these hordes of zombies that you have to take out by really creative means. Very difficult, but super fun. This just got a remake or a HD remaster on the PS5, and I think I could spend $10 to get the PS4 version, like the remaster version of it. That's not bad. I'll probably do that at some point. Dead Rising 4, Frank's Big Package, definitely takes a turn towards more action for the series. My brother and I are big fans of the original and sort of their unique gameplay style. We played through 2 a couple years ago. Deus Ex Mankind Divided, really cool games. Cyberpunk really reboots the series in an effective way. You could do stealth or straight up action. I prefer straight up action most of the time. Same thing with these. Dishonored 1 and 2. Dishonored blew me away for the time. Still holds up as a really intuitive action platformer, kind of platformer, where you can approach missions in all different sorts of ways. Dishonored 2 never really captured my attention like the first one. Divinity Original Sin. These guys would go on to make... Didn't they make Baldur's Gate, the new Baldur's Gate game? These are turn-based Western isometric RPGs I've never really gotten into. We've got Doom, I started the new one last night, and I can't wait to get off this live stream and start playing again, because my night got cut short when the power went out. So this is a great reboot. Really reboots the franchise in an impressive way. Very much so approve of that. A nice, cool addition of a game called Downfall, or Downwell, I'm sorry, which is 8-bit style roguelike action platformer. Very fun, and I got this version for super cheap back in the day. Been watching some Jackie joints this weekend, reminded how great Project A and Police Story 3 are. Hell yes, they are great. Dragon Age Inquisition. I hear good things about this. My brother's really into this series, but I never got into it. Any of the BioWare games, really. Dragon Crown Pro. This is a beautiful Guardian Heroes-inspired 2D hand-drawn anime Dungeons and Dragons style beat 'em up. Very deep for a beat 'em up. RPG elements, leveling up, all that. Extreme Legends Dynasty Warriors 8 Complete Edition. This is the only Dynasty Warrior game I have, because every once in a while I get a hankering to just destroy vast hordes of enemies in feudal China, in ancient China. Read the Doom books back. Oh, you read the Doom books back in the day. That's cool. I didn't even know. Well, everything has books, right? We have Skyrim. One of the. All right. I was able to resume the live stream. Remember how I said that I needed to plug in my phone? Yeah. Well, my phone died. Sorry about that, folks. Thank you for sticking in the chat. I appreciate that. Let me see what I missed. Doom. Yes. Oh, I love Doom. The original games are the best. Anyway, guys, sorry about that. I am going to wrap up the stream soon, but I did want to... Damn it. Let's see if I could do it this way. Thanks, for sticking in there. Yeah, this is going to be hard, guys, because I need to keep my phone charged. Let me see if I could just finish this row out here. It's going to be kind of awkward, but... Evil Within 1 and 2, I gotta be honest with you. I love Tango Gameworks' other games, but I can't get into this. My phone died jolly good. I'm very sorry. I was supposed to plug in my phone. I forgot because I'm talking so much. But I'm glad I was able to resume it. Yeah, my battery frickin' died. We've got Evil Within 2, Fade to Silence. I don't hear many good things about this, but I love the look of it. Gives me The Thing vibes. And it's supposed to be like a very atmospheric horror action-y kind of game, I think. We've got a nice steelbook of Fallout 4, a game that I don't enjoy as much as Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but a game that is still very, very good. This is old school Bethesda, pretty much the last great game they made, in my opinion. Sorry for talking too long. Yeah, I'm talking too long. Am I into stand-up comedy? Yeah, of course. Carlin is my favorite. I watch Carlin all the time. He's one of my biggest influences in life. A lot of my humor comes from him. Yeah, he's like one of my main inspirations in life. He proved to me the importance of thinking for yourself. And I'll never forget that. Carlin's the man. Still funny, and God, was he prescient. He called out a lot of the things that he saw in the 90s that got way worse in our time. Well, I'm plugged in now, so I have like 2%. It's going up, but yeah. Far Cry 5. I like Far Cry 3 and 4. I haven't played 5, admittedly. Final Fantasy X and X2 HD Remaster. Very cool to have that. We've got Final Fantasy 15. I've not played a Final Fantasy with the action sort of oriented combat. This one, though, really appeals to me. I like the modern sort of environment. I like the modern setting. You could drive around with your friends. It looks kind of cool. I want to give it a shot. Here's for my anime heads out there. This is Hakuto no Ken, Lost Paradise, or in the West we know it as Fist of the North Star. Yeah, I watch bonus features and commentary tracks, not so much. Bonus features I do enjoy. This has reversible artwork, so I like this artwork a little bit more. Very Japanese. Buronson style artwork there, based on the original artist. Here we have Ghostbusters, the video game remastered. Really enjoy this game. Kind of like Ghostbusters 3. This is the true Ghostbusters 3, in my opinion. This is the last good Ghostbusters piece of media we got. I think Frozen Empire is okay, but, you know, I enjoy it for what it is, but I'm not a fan of Afterlife. This is great, though. They go to hell, they fight monsters, all the voice cast is back. Yes, the entire voice cast does their characters. We've got the God of War reboot here that switches from Greek mythology to Nordic mythology or Norse mythology. Very poignant story about a father and a father trying to protect his son while trying to mold him into a strong person, a strong man, and pass on the torch. So this is a great game that I played about halfway through and never finished. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Haven't played this. My brother got into it. He thought it was pretty cool. This is the sequel to the original Hellblade, I think. Not sure exactly, honestly. Helmut. This is another indie. There's a little indie game here. Roguelike, kind of top-down shooter. Very fun. Addictive. I like these kinds of roguelike games. Hello, stupid kitty. What's up, baby? Yeah, keep it down. Keep it down, will you? Yeah, it's your kitty. Yes. There you go. Some kitty action. That sounds bad. At least I could see a view of your GameCube and Xbox. Yes, you can. That'll be for another video, that's for sure. Won't be able to fit that in today. All right, next up we have a beautiful game that I really thoroughly enjoyed and I played the hell out of. I probably put 60 hours into this. It's really annoying being plugged in. Zero Dawn. This is a great game, great story, great music. There's my operatic vocals for you. Beautiful game, great, unique character design. It's sort of in between prehistoric. It's like prehistoric future technology. It's very hard to describe. It is dystopian. It's a world that lost itself to technology and destroyed itself with its technology. It's kind of like Plato says in the Timaeus. I think it's the Timaeus. He says, Atlantis failed to where... it failed to... What was the line? Atlantis failed to moderate its prosperity, or failed to... something along those lines. So Atlantis fell because it failed to moderate its... Oh, Jesus, I'm blanking here. Moderate its success, right? They were too successful for their own good. That's the whole story of Atlantis. A society that fails to wear its prosperity with moderation. God, that took a while to get out. Iconoclasts. I've played a little bit of this. A pretty cool Metroidvania, Super Nintendo-inspired pixel art graphics. It's very cool. Definitely want to play through that at some point. Lego Horizon video game that came out. Yeah, that was a weird one to come out. I remember seeing that. Here's Infamous Second Son. This is the third game, and I need to play the second before I play that. I bet you not many of you guys knew there was a John Wick game. This is actually a grid-based action strategy game where you go around as John Wick and you just shoot the hell out of people in a kind of turn-based strategy style. I think that's pretty unique. Journey to the Savage Planet. Such a cool, quirky, fun, unique game with a really interesting world that they built. It is actually like a first-person Metroidvania style game because you unlock upgrades to get to certain areas. And I really enjoy this game for what it was. And a strange sci-fi satire of late-stage capitalism. Yeah, which a lot of people claim we are living in right now, which is catastrophic in a lot of ways. But hey, we'll be all right. We're humans. Just Cause 3. These are crazy, over-the-top games where you play in South America or Central America, and you take down dictators and a lot of the ones that the U.S. would prop up during the 60s and 70s because they were the good dictators. Yeah, anyway. Killzone Shadowfall. This was the launch title. Killzone game here. The last Killzone game we got. I still need to play this. I hear good things. Kind of gets forgotten about because it was a launch title. Kingdom Hearts 3. Beautiful artwork here on the front. And a game that I've yet to play. So if it's anything like the first two, I will enjoy it. A lot of people I've heard say it's too much like the first two. Layers of Fear Masterpiece Edition. This is a really cool haunted house interactive story adventure game. No combat. You're kind of running away from scary things as opposed to engaging in combat. But really trippy. These guys would go on to do Yeah, Bloober Team would go on to make a game called The Medium right here. And then their latest game, their huge, big mainstream hit, was the Konami published. Pretty sure Bloober did this. Didn't Bloober do this? It doesn't have their name on it. Is Bloober just a part of Konami at this point? Pretty sure Bloober had something to do with this. Bloober Team, yeah, that. Anyway, Layers of Fear, I've heard really good things about. All right. Well, Jimmy, thank you for joining. I'm sorry to say that I am going to be actually calling it for this live stream, but feel free to check out the archived version, which has a strange cut because my battery died. I am winded. This has been another 3-hour live stream. Growing resilient to this, being able to talk for this long. I want to say thank you so much to UHM, the username UHM who donated money, a super chat, and that means a lot to me, so I thank you so much for that. Feel free to donate to the channel. Like I said, anything that is sent to me gets put back into the channel, and I want to make this channel as good as I can and really engage with you guys. I'm very excited, so to get things back on track. They have Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story and Kingdom Hearts 3. That's cool. One last time, I will do a call to action and say if you guys enjoy this live stream or if you're watching the archived edition and enjoyed it, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. They help me greatly with exposure and kind of fit me into the algorithm. The algorithm is not very friendly to me, so it's very hard to grow my channel because I talk about, God forbid, I talk about things I want to talk about, not what the hottest, new, coolest thing is. But that's how I'm going to keep on doing it, and I'll carve out my little existence on YouTube just fine. I already feel like I have. I have a lot of great people following the channel. You guys mean the world to me, and I appreciate it. So feel free to give it a thumbs up, share the video around, subscribe to the channel. Man, my subscription numbers are shooting up quite a bit, which is awesome. I'm almost back at the point where I'm getting one a day, which is a big deal for me. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow or Tuesday. I will schedule it, so feel free to follow it to know when I go live. And you guys are awesome. Thank you all so much. I'm going to chill out, play some games, maybe read a little, and enjoy myself on my day off. So, all right, guys, I will talk to you all very soon. Until next time, Bored Cyborg is out. Peace. Thank you all.